veteran number 18, Charlie Joyner. But there is also one of the swiftest wide receivers in all of football, number 83, Johnny Jefferson. And there is a brilliant young tight end, Kellen Winslow. For Danny White, more of the same, ably filling the shoes of Roger Staubach. He knows how to find the man who uncannily finds open spaces, Drew Pearson. And then, if he doesn't look for Drew, he will throw to the man for whom the action first begins when he receives the football. That would be Tony Hill. So the weapons are there. And for the Dallas Cowboys, if he's able to play in a flak jacket tonight, number 33, Tony Dorsett, is special. The Chargers against the Cowboys.
From Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, ABC's NFL Special Sunday Night Edition. The San Diego Chargers against the Dallas Cowboys. This ABC Sports exclusive is...
Wild excitement here at Texas Stadium tonight. A packed house. The standings bespeak the importance of tonight's game. The NFC East. Philadelphia won today from Chicago in a toughie. Dallas must win tonight to stay but a game behind. And in the AFC West, the onrushing Oakland Raiders crushed the Seattle Seahawks. San Diego must win tonight to stay but a game ahead of the now Jim Plunkett-led Raiders. Hello again, everyone. It's very good to have you with us tonight because, frankly, while we expected the wild excitement of last Monday night between Pittsburgh and Oakland, we expect more of the same tonight and even maybe more excitement than a week ago. Why? Two tremendous teams. The Chargers with some of the best personnel in football in that dynamite passing attack. The Cowboys, brilliantly rebuilt within a single year by Tom Landry, the extraordinary coach. To tell you more about the man named Fouts and some of his thoughts on the Cowboys, who else but the Giffer?
Thank you, Coach. And we could talk all night about Dan Fouts, and I'm sure we will be. Last week against the Giants, Dan Fouts passed for a quarter of a mile, and you can get very fatiguing doing that. He had 3 receivers with over 100 yards on receptions. And while Dan Fouts likes to pass, that's only a reflection of his coach, Don Coryell. The Dallas Cowboys, well, Tony Dorsett is questionable tonight. We don't know whether we'll see him or not, and Tom Landry would like to run to keep the ball away from the San Diego offense. However, last week against the Eagles in the 17-10 loss, the Cowboys had 46 yards on the ground. That's the second worst rushing record that the Cowboys have had in 21 years. Down on the field, our partner, Dandy One, is with his former mentor, head coach Tom Landry of the Dallas Cowboys. Take it away, Don.
Coach, it seems like old times. I'm asking questions, and you're supposed to have the answers. So I'll start off with what?
I wish I had the answer.
A lot of folks want to know about Tony Dorsett. He hasn't worked out this year. Do you think he'll play, or are you going to start him?
Well, he said he felt pretty good. We're not going to start him. Ron Springs will start. He's got a little soreness left, which is, I don't know whether I'm going to play him or not, Don. I'm going to have to wait and see.
Okay. The Coryell teams of the past have all been high scoring. You shifted to defense this year. You played some good defensive games. Have you done anything different to try to flag all these guys down?
Well, we try to do a few things. I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, give me a clue. What are you going to do?
It's tough. I tell you, you have to.
Blitz.
You can't make any mistakes, Don. That's the main thing. If you make mistakes, you're going to get stung. And if we don't make too many mistakes, we might play pretty good defense.
All right, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's go back, Frank. We'll get this thing going. Thank you a lot. All right, Frank. Take it away.
All right, Don. He wouldn't tell you anything for 9 years. He wouldn't tell you anything tonight. We really, quite frankly, blame him. Tom Landry, of course, worried about the San Diego Chargers. He's worried about the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles winners today over the Chicago Bears. As we mentioned at the top of the show, these Dallas Cowboys must win tonight to stay 1 game behind the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, the San Diego Chargers, well, they beat the Giants a week ago, but 2 weeks ago they were thrashed by the Oakland Raiders. And the Oakland Raiders, well, they'd move into a tie should the Chargers lose tonight. San Diego with a victory could remain a game ahead. And we are looking for an aerial carnival tonight. The receiving unit, as we can see, the Chargers dropping into position. Here is a much-traveled man, Chuck Muncie, a much-discussed man. He joined the San Diego Chargers a couple of weeks ago in a trade that was reported to have required only a number 2 draft pick. So there has to be some question as to why the New Orleans Saints released Muncie. There were many questions surrounding this man, but we do know that when he's right, he's playing, he's a great athlete. Set to kick off, Raphael Septien. The 2 deep men are Muncie 46 and Mike Fuller 42, and from Texas Stadium with 65,000 looking on, we're underway. Muncie will bring him out of the end zone. Muncie, 6'3", 233 pounds, roars out to the 42-yard line. Dexter Clinkscale made the stop for Dallas. Let's meet the offensive unit. Dan Fouts, he just comes out throwing. He sets up the run with the pass. And the setbacks, we will see. Muncie starting tonight in place of Clarence Williams. His first start in the offensive set. The wide receivers, they are something special, both of them. The wide receivers over 100 yards a week ago against the Giants. Their tight end, Kellen Winslow, also had 100 yards against the Giants. On first down, Fouts to the air. We didn't think anything else. It's complete into Dallas Cowboy territory at the 49-yard line to John Jefferson. That's his 39th reception on the year. Dan Fouts looking over to pick up the plays that are called down by Joe Gibbs, the offensive coordinator. They are now flashed out to Fouts as we look at the defensive unit. A defensive unit that, quite frankly, was in a transition state early in the year. They have come together. They have 13 interceptions back there. Tom Landry devoting much of his training camp time to rebuilding the Cowboys defense that hurt a year ago. Second down, less than a yard to go. Hand off. John Cappelletti gets the first down easily, moving up close to the 45-yard line of the Cowboys, taken there by Charlie Waters. Charlie Waters, of course, coming off knee surgery of a year ago. He is the stability in that secondary for the Dallas Cowboys, number 41, because it has been in a tremendous change over the years. Steve Wilson, second-year man, is at one cornerback. Aaron Mitchell, 34, another second-year man at the other cornerback, and they will be tested tonight. First down, Winslow in motion. Fouts looking for Charlie Joyner, and he was there, incomplete. D.D. Lewis back there defensively, but Joyner was there. He was open. Fouts missed on the pass, and he doesn't do that often. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, as you have said, they use the pass to set up the pass. There's no fear in this team. This is an angry man, Dan Fouts, and he is also an exceptional quarterback. You mentioned Charlie Waters because the others are so young. They call them Charlie's Angels.
2nd down, 10. Fouts looking it over. Puts his backs into the pattern. Going up for Jefferson, and Jefferson in front of Aaron Mitchell. First down, San Diego, down inside the 30, close to the 28-yard line.
There is simply no way to cover John Jefferson one-on-one. Nobody in the league can do it. I think, too, you got an indication of what Muncie can mean to this team when he returned the opening kickoff the way he did. Coryell is delighted with him. He has not been a bad actor at all.
Single setback now is Cappelletti. That's the tight end. Winslow, the second-year man from Missouri, in motion. And here comes Cappelletti, right side. And Cappelletti taken there quickly by Mike Hageman. Gets a yard and a half. Down to about the 27-yard line.
All right, what did I miss?
Well, you haven't missed a lot, except Muncie had a fine return, opening return of the kickoff.
Yeah.
And quickly, Fouts started doing his thing.
All right.
Landry did his thing with you the way he did 20 years ago.
I know.
Don't make any mistakes, Meredith.
I was going to say, come on, Coach, you got to have something new by now.
2nd down and 8. The ball at the 27-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. You saw a quick look at the enthusiastic Don Coryell, the Chargers coach. This is Muncie. And Muncie taken again by Hageman. Gain of maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd and long, 3rd and 7, as Mike Hageman, who was put on the spot a year ago when he replaced Hollywood Henderson, well, he has performed brilliantly for the Cowboys thus far. There was actually about a half a yard loss, so we'll call it 3rd down and 8. The ball at the 27-yard line, and in comes a special unit for the Dallas Cowboys. Their pass defense, if you will. They bring in Pinkskill, number 47. They bring in Dickerson, number 51. Benny Barnes, number 31. Mike Thomas, number 22, a good receiver, just activated last week, is in there for the Chargers. And behind Jefferson or rather John Floyd, the speedster, who had come in the 3 wide receiver deployment of the San Diego Chargers. And out comes Ralph Benershka. And what a story Ralph Benershka is.
A story which Frank will develop for you at halftime. Certainly one of the warm and beautiful human interest stories in American sport, or international sport.
Surgery on Crohn's disease a year ago. A year ago tonight, he was in the hospital. This attempt from 45 yards. He is 10 of 14 on the season. He's hit 3 times from 50 or more. A lot of distance and a whole lot of accuracy, and Benershka hits from 45 yards out of the Chargers quickly on the scoreboard. San Diego 3-0 over the Dallas Cowboys, and we'll be back. The rookie Dallas Cowboy from Mississippi State. This is James Jones, the Cowboys' second, third-round draft pick, who has positioned himself in the middle of the field at the goal line, awaiting the kick of Ralph Benershka, who has just hit from 45 yards out. Benershka, as I said before, 10 of 14 on the season, a long of 53, but he has other kicks of 50 and 52. A remarkable young man. Benershka offside, hangs it high. Flag is down, indicating the offside, but this will be Jones. Jones almost gets to the outside, and he does amble out to the 35-yard line before Frank Duncan took him there. But again, a flag is down, indicating that the Chargers apparently were offside. And a fine return. You might suspect that it will be declined.
That's the Jimmy Jones from Mississippi State, a Gil Brandt discovery that we were so impressed with. Remember, Don, opening game in Washington?
I was trying to figure out where that guy came from, and evidently they find him most everywhere. He's got to go with that time.
Offsides, kicking team on the kickoff, decline. First down.
Our referee tonight, Dick Jorgensen. He'll be talking to us, hopefully, infrequently. We almost wore out our RF a week ago with the Pittsburgh-Oakland game. Up comes Danny White, third of the National Football Conference, taking over under a lot of pressure this year and doing well. Of course, taking over from Roger Staubach. Quick reverse, Billy Joe Dupree. And Billy Joe lumbers out for a first down to the 46-yard line, taken there by Woody Lowe defensively. And let's meet the offensive unit of the Dallas Cowboys quickly. Danny White, you saw it, quarterback. Passing at 64%. Tony Dorsett is questionable tonight. He doesn't have a flak jacket on. He has not worked all week. Sore ribs from the Philadelphia game. Your wide receivers, they're a pretty good set. Drew Pearson and Tony Hill. Of course, Tony Hill, number 80, when he catches the football, is basically a running back. Cowboys have their first down out at their own 46-yard line. Timmy Newsom now, a rookie from Winston-Salem, is in there, but this is Ron Springs. And Springs, a couple of yards up to the 48, and a flag is down at the tackle position as we look at the defense. Timmy Newsom, the setback for the Cowboys, number 30. And you see the call going against the San Diego Chargers, a face mask call. And already we are seeing what we anticipated, the teams moving back and forth, up and down the field. Here's our call.
Personal foul, 5-yard face mask foul, number 51, defense, first down.
Woody Lowe, the offending San Diego Charger, automatic first accompanying the call. The ball is now at the Chargers' 46-yard line. The setbacks, and they'll change all night for Dallas, now are 20 Ron Springs, a second-year man from Ohio State, and Robert Newhouse, number 44. Warm night, humid, 70 degrees. Showers expected. This is Newhouse, and Newhouse ran into Big Fred Dean, the defensive right end. Ball advanced up to the 43-yard line. A gain of a couple, it'll be second down and 8.
Frank, you mentioned Fred Dean. One of the great strengths of San Diego is their front four. Maybe the greatest strength of Dallas is its front four. Louis Kelcher, 74, is back in action tonight. He had been out briefly with an injury. You'll see him defense the run. He'll not be in on obvious passing plays. Will be Young will be in.
Second down and 8. Drew Pearson, top of your picture, and Danny White's going to put it in the air, and down goes Danny White. He's piled up. Fred Dean getting in there very quickly, along with Gary Johnson. Big Gary Johnson, they call him Big Hands, and he was pawing all over Danny White.
He's one of the front four, Howard, that you didn't have a chance to get to, but he leads the team in quarterback sacks. And you can see right there, man, he just looked like he broke out of a hole at the line of scrimmage. They tried to hold him, and he still got by.
Interestingly, he was a holdout. He didn't report till just before the third game of the season, but he's in shape.
Louis Kelcher, you saw big number 74, is also in the Chargers lineup tonight. He was hurt in the Oakland game 2 weeks ago. Hyperextension of the knee. He was also close to the sack. Third down and 16. Ball back at the 47-yard line of the Cowboys, and out of the shotgun is Danny White. Danny White, and his complete, beautiful catch by Butch Johnson.
Oh, what a catch!
He has the first down. It was a great catch. He was going to be hit. He was by Hal Stringert, but he gets the first down.
That Butch Johnson, you'll remember the extraordinary catch as we look at it again, Don, that he made in the Super Bowl game against Denver. He is a superb receiver. Sometimes it seems criminal that he has not played over Drew Pearson. That's a decision that Tom Landry has to make, and it's a problem that shows the quality of personnel in this Dallas team.
Of course, he's playing behind Pearson and Tony Hill. They were both 1,000-yard receivers a year ago. And when you want to bring in a third one, it's great to have a Johnson. Here comes Ron Springs. And Ron Springs inside the 30, down close to the 28-yard line. A game of about 4. It'll be second down and 6. Bob Horn, number 55, the middle linebacker defensively for San Diego.
Ron Springs may be one of the best finds that you're talking about, the Gil Brandt find that they've ever had in this organization. He just seemed like he showed up. Michigan State didn't play that football the last part of the year, was a baseballer. Came down here in training camp. They said, this is the kind of guy, because he can play all of it. He's playing over in Dorsey's place tonight. Robert Newhouse is in there. He knows all the assignments, bright young guy.
Ron Springs out of Ohio State. Change of setbacks. Danny White, play action. Look out. Can't find a receiver. Dumps it off. Billy Joe Dupree down to the 25-yard line. Short of the first down by a couple. Upended by defensive back down there, number 28, and it was Fred Dean pressuring Danny White out of the pocket.
White is smart, and the smarts that he has, the perception he has enabled him to grow with enormous rapidity this year, beginning the season under terrible pressure. As the success of the Staubach, he has responded with increasing maturity. The last play and evidence of it.
Pearson and Tony Hill split out to the left. Third down. Preston Pearson in the lineup now. A good receiver for the Cowboys, but White goes downfield. And no flags go down as Drew Pearson got all tangled up there with defender Mike Fuller. So it'll be fourth down, and that should produce the field goal unit for the Cowboys, principally Raphael Septian. Septian is 6 of 8 of the year. And his long, thus far this year, is 38 yards. Bernershka, in case you have joined us late, on the Chargers' first possession. Hit from 45 yards out. The Chargers now on top, 3-0. This will be a 43-yard attempt. Raphael Septian. Charlie Waters holding. Good snap. The ball upright. And hooks it off to the left. So the Chargers will have possession, and they'll have possession at their own 25-yard line. Raphael Septian missing from 43 yards out of the Chargers. Stay on top, 3-0, 8-12 remaining in the first quarter. Texas Stadium is sold out. Television, of course, lifted here in the Dallas area. The Dallas Cowboys, one game behind. If they can win tonight, the Philadelphia Eagles. They were defeated by the Philadelphia Eagles, Dick Vermeil's troops, a week ago, 17-10. The Chargers need a victory to stay a game ahead of Oakland. On first down, San Diego in possession at their own 25-yard line. Chuck Muncie will throw the ball wide open. Downfield is Williams, and a flag is down.
Well, they had him, didn't they?
Yep, this is the value you can get out of Chuck Muncie. He threw one like that in the Pro Bowl game, where he was the MVP of the game. They got themselves a beauty in Muncie.
He was a package last year in New Orleans, 1,198 yards rushing. He had 40 receptions. There he is. Obviously, there were problems, disagreements in New Orleans because you never let a Chuck Muncie go if you have one.
Holding, number 41, defense, first down.
Charlie Waters did the only thing he could do back there, as flying by him was Clarence Williams, and had Muncie been on target, there would have been 6
You know, he probably said, oops. Oops is not a good word. I don't care. You know, you think of that. Whoops.
Whoops.
Best thing you do is grab him.
First and 10, now at the 30, following the holding call. Williams in motion, Fouts to the air. Fouts laying it up, and I'll tell you, we have seen Jefferson catch those kind of footballs. He is a tremendous leaper at 6'1" and 198, but that one's slightly overthrown. It'll be second and 10.
He laid that up beautifully. He had another man he could have thrown to, Charlie Joyner, number 18, who was even further downfield. This is a tough team to defend.
It really is. Aaron Mitchell was out to the outside. I think maybe it's a pretty good defensive play by Mitchell. When he saw the ball in the air, he fell off of his receiver, came back in. He was actually closer to the receiver. That was a strong safety.
Fouts on second and 10. Dan Fouts, who set an NFL yardage record last year of 4,082 yards. Looking over the Dallas defense, inside handoff, Clarence Williams. He battles forward for about 3 yards. It'll be third down and 7. The ball out at the 33-yard line. Fouts also has passed 14 times for 300 or more yards. He did it 6 times a year ago. He lost 3 of the games, I might add.
Of course, Landry is very familiar with Coryell. What a rivalry they had when Coryell was coaching at St. Louis. Landry holds a 6-4 edge, but they've split the last 8 games.
Mike Thomas, former Washington Redskin, activated a week ago, wears 22 for the Chargers. Good receiver. He's in there on third and 7. Fouts fires a timing pass to John Jefferson. He'll be close to a first down.
I think that was just right on the money. Now, that's another thing we've talked about a lot is how the receiver must know what that distance requirement is. And you saw Jefferson make just the right cut. The ball really was thrown with good timing, wasn't it?
And he picks up the first down at the 41-yard line. John Jefferson, 2,000-yard seasons. Only 2 other players in the history of pro football have done that. You helped Bob Hayes do it, Don, and of course Bill Groman with the Houston Oilers did it in 60 and 61. If he gets 1,000 yards this year, he'll be the only man ever to do it. First and 10. There's Muncy.
Good tackle by Dede.
And Muncy, like all great backs, gets a lot more yardage than he appears to get. Gets inside just over the 45-yard line for a gain of 4. It'll be second down and 6, taken there by Dede Lewis, number 50. You played with him, Don. He really is a highly underrated player. He's a very heads-up player.
He knows the defenses so well, and he gets himself in a good position, and that's the whole key to what Tom tries to do. They get the guys in the position. As he said earlier, don't make any mistakes.
Mike Thomas in motion on second down and 6. Quick toss, Muncy. Muncy bowling close to another first down. This will depend upon where they mark it. Using that 230 pounds and all the acceleration that he can generate.
Interesting to see this, though. Coryell has stated through the years, give me running backs. I'll play a running game. I'll keep to my passing attack, but I'm not afraid to use a running game if I've got the guy who can execute.
I think that's true, but I think he's still a much better throw. He just likes to throw that ball in here. I think that's his philosophy.
He has never done anything but throw.
He loves to throw.
You've got a guy like Muncy.
You're right. You keep those guys around.
There's another quarterback who's having a great year. Played under him.
You bet.
Brian Sight for Cleveland. Third and short. Capoletti. Capoletti, again, this will depend upon where they mark it. Mike Hagman clinched it, but Cowboys were swarming. They tried to go right over Harvey Martin and Randy White over the right side.
That's a pretty tough side to run over when you need even inches.
They do, of course, probably will go there a lot. However, Russ Washington on their right side is missing. He's out for the season. They have a youngster in there, Dan Audick, working against Ed Jones. The Chargers, of course, lost Russ Washington in the Oakland game a couple of weeks ago, and they will be short of the first down by about a foot. Chargers with the 3-0 lead. 6:04 remaining in the first quarter. Send out the punting unit. Means Rick Partridge with a 42.6 average. Partridge was a teammate of Chuck Muncy's a year ago with New Orleans. Dropping deep, James Jones, the rookie that we spoke of already from Mississippi State. Partridge gets a bad drop. It does not turn over. This is Jones from his 17-yard line. And Jones gets back out to the 18-yard line. Hustling down there was linebacker Cliff Thrift for the San Diego Chargers. So the Cowboys will have possession at their own 18-yard line. They're down by 3. We'll be back. Frank Gifford with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith. And Don, you never played in this stadium.
No, sir. I somehow dodged that silver bullet. I left all my stuff out there at the Cotton Bowl.
They didn't finish the top of it.
I know. I'm tired of talking about that thing. They're not going to put a top on this thing. They're going to leave it like it is.
They left the balloons out up there with that.
You know, they really did. They did a lot of things. Number one, when they came out here, they don't have to air condition this thing now. They must have known we had an energy crunch coming. This thing's air conditioned all the time.
Cowboys trailing 3-0. First and 10, the ball near their own 18-yard line. Danny White brings them up. Springs and Newhouse. Springs 20, Newhouse 44. Those are your setbacks. White quickly pattern to Tony Hill. Tony Hill trips out of bounds up close to the 25-yard line for a gain of 7. It'll be second down and 3. Mike Williams was giving Tony Hill a lot of area.
Smart move. He can sure eat it up in a hurry.
At the same time, you got to be careful of Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Unnoticed last year, he became one of the most effective defensive backs in the league.
Quick look at Tom Landry, getting help from Danny Reeves up in the press box, sending the plays in to Danny White. Inside handoff, Robert Newhouse gets out over the 25, close to the 27-yard line, short of the first down. It'll be third and about 2.
You would think that the Cowboys would be able to run against San Diego. Frank, you were there 12th in the league against the run, and they didn't run that well last week against Philadelphia. So you would have to think that with Dorsett out, maybe that's going to be an equalizer. But I think that the Cowboys expected to be able to move the ball. They would love to just eat up that clock as much as they can for some obvious reasons.
Still 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And on third and a long 2, White puts it in the air, fires intended for his receiver, Drew Pearson, incomplete. It'll be fourth down, and we'll see the punting unit, and San Diego will get possession again.
That looked like just another series of downs, but it was really more than that. It's important for Dallas to be able to begin to move the football, and they didn't prove they could do it then.
I think you're right.
Danny White with a 40.4 average. Tom Landry would rather that Danny White was not doing the kicking as we look at Mike Fuller for the Chargers. But he's the best he's got.
Fuller is a little guy, but he's a darter, as you know. Frank, he lost his job in the defensive secondary. Shaw outplayed him.
Hey, he's been returning punts for 5 years and has almost a 12-yard average on a return, and a beautiful kick by White. Fair catch called for. He had to call it. Did Mike Fuller at his 34-yard line, hustling down there. One of the outstanding young rookies for the Dallas Cowboys, Anthony Dickinson, who played his collegiate football, or some of it, here at SMU, right here in Dallas. Timeout, and we'll be back with 4:49 remaining in the first quarter. Texas Stadium, Irving, Texas, the Chargers on top of the Cowboys. Chargers with a first and 10, the ball at their own 34-yard line, and Dan Fouts, the Red Baron, if you will, brings his aerial circus up to the line of scrimmage.
I like it.
First and 10. Ron Cappelletti in motion. Fouts dumps it off to Muncie, and Muncie attracts a crowd. And if he was touched while he was down, it'll go back. We saw nothing but a flag, though.
Nobody's blown a whistle either.
Dennis Thurman is trying to take Muncie, which he does, down around the 7-yard line. A flag is down where Muncie was down.
This is going to be an interesting ball.
Yes.
It's coming back. Apparently.
Defensive captain Bob Bruning in there. Here's the call. Clipping against San Diego. So Chuck Muncie gave the Dallas Cowboy partisan fans a little bit of a thrill, and they'll bring it all back.
A little bit of a scare.
Watching him run, he was so fluid, man. He moved it down there. He does have that speed.
Dennis Thurman.
They start him early here.
Dennis Thurman tunneled him very well.
Yes, he did. Thurman is a good football player. Not very big, but
before that play done, this is interesting. San Diego has used 6 pass
Personal
plays.
foul, clipping, offense, still first down.
7 rush plays. So Coryell has changed his pattern for the moment.
Chuck Muncie, runner-up for the Heisman Award at the University of California. Had over 1,400 yards there as a senior. Obviously a #1 draft pick. Went to New Orleans in '76. Came to the Chargers a little over 2 weeks ago. The down remains the same. First down. This is Muncie again. And Muncie gets away from Dickerson and just runs over Clinkscale out to the 35 to 37-yard line. And he gets a bunch of it back, about 15. It'll be second down and about 8.
You're doing a real number on Ed Jones at the defensive end. It's a technique that the Cowboys anyway refer to as an influence block. They don't really hit him that hard. They try to let him, his weight and his momentum carry him to the inside. Muncie dips to the outside. And Ed's been reaching for thin air for the last 3 times so far tonight.
Interestingly, Audick is the man against Jones tonight, and Frank mentioned that that might be an edge for Dallas.
78 for Dallas is John Dutton defensively.
Whoa,
It's complete. Charlie Joyner. And Joyner taken by Aaron Mitchell, but not until he has the first down, up close to the 48-yard line.
Well, by this time, fans around the National Football League know about that man, Charlie Joyner, out of Grambling College, originally drafted by Houston when Klosterman was with Houston, traded to Cincinnati. They traded him to San Diego in one of the best deals San Diego ever made. He has a way of finding the open spaces, and he has a way of responding to injury.
Oh, did we see that last year?
Exactly.
On 1st and 10 for the Chargers. Fouts has the troops moving. Jefferson throw. And I'll tell you, he looked off of Charlie Joyner, saw out of the corner of his eye Jefferson, pops him for a first down, and this is one great passing quarterback.
That's one of the toughest ones to throw to. You're talking about a 20-yard sideline, and you're right, his little play-action pass in the middle, Frank. He sent the 2 guys down deep on a deep sideline. Look at the ball, not a ripple in it, just right on the money. Good catch by Jefferson.
Well, you have to have power in the arm to throw that kind of pass.
Up to the line of scrimmage. The line of scrimmage, the 35-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. 1st and 10, the Chargers.
Whoops.
Fouts forgot to give it to one of his troops, and hustling in there was Big Ed Jones, and Fouts very wisely found a hole back at the 41.
Another big oops. I think Fouts turned the wrong way.
Yep, busted.
Yeah, he made the wrong move that time. You see, if he had turned the other way, spun out the other way, it would either been a fake. I guess that was a run-off tackle. Dan says, wait a minute.
What a frightening thing it is to see Jones there with you.
Yes, you say, what did I do wrong?
Ed Jones, 6'9", 260-pounder.
You meet him a couple of times, don't you? Start brushing up on your plays. You understand? Get those assignments down.
Mike Thomas, number 22 in there, offensively for San Diego. Good receiver. 2nd down, 16. And picked off. It's Steve Wilson. Tipped right in front of wide receiver John Floyd. Collected the ball, and Steve Wilson on his 3rd interception of the year gets all the way inside of San Diego's 35-yard line.
Now that's the break that the Cowboys needed and were looking for.
He's trying to come back to the well again. He waited a little bit too long to throw this one. This is John Floyd, number 86. Didn't run a bad route. Maybe could have broken off a little bit, but Steve Wilson had the great position, inside position, played the ball real well. I think, if anything, Dan's vision could have been impaired by a fairly good rush that time. They didn't.
Steve Wilson, Don, has been a great shock. He was a wide receiver, a kickoff return man a year ago. Benny Barnes got hurt at that position. They moved him in there. He's been a starter ever since the beginning of the season. 3rd interception of the year, and the Cowboys 14th. That eclipses all their interceptions of the season just passed. On 1st and 10, White to the air. Dumps it off, Billy Joe Dupree. Well, Billy Joe stays on his feet, the big man, to the 21-yard line. 1st down, Dallas.
Hey! Terrific pattern. They sent the 2 wide receivers deep. Here's a ground level look. A little play action pass to the outside. Fake the springs. Got good protection. Look at that offensive line work. Billy Joe delayed. Came across the middle. Nobody there to pick him up. That's a big old boy, isn't he?
6'4", 230-pounder. Mr. Clutch Man. He doesn't catch that many footballs, but he scores a lot when he does catch it.
They've got 3 good tight ends. Saldi and Cosby both are good.
Ball inside the 21-yard line of the Chargers. The Cowboys down 3-0. Ron Springs, right side.
Look out.
Springs got a terrific block from Rafferty, and it springs him down to the 1-yard line. And a flag is down. Whether it's dropped, we do not know, but a flag is down at the 2-yard line.
Frank, what a terrific job of acceleration, too. He did get a good block, but you'll see, I'm sure, where he really let that block happen, and then he just, a quick little burst of speed and shot right through the hole.
That's the thing that makes a great back, as you know, the ability to...
Yes, face mask called against Dallas. That's the strange
I don't
call.
understand that.
Well,
I was about to say the ability to explode through that hole, where an ordinary back will only get 6 yards, a back like Springs can pick up 12, 14.
need that kind of shifting gears.
Personal foul, 5-yard face mask foul on the offense. The ball carrier had the face mask of the tackler. Offense, it's a first down.
Interesting call.
I don't think I've heard that one before.
No, I haven't either.
All right, Ron.
First down stays. And the penalty is marked off, putting the ball inside the 8-yard line. It'll be first down and goal. Cowboys come up with running backs 44 Newhouse, 23 James Jones, the rookie from Mississippi State. Wide receivers, Pearson, Hill, top of your screen. The motion man is Jones. There was a Charger, jumped off sides. Here comes Newhouse, inside the 5, close to the 3. Wilbur Young, I believe, was the San Diego Charger that was trying to anticipate the count.
They'll take that penalty.
Oh, yeah.
Pick up a down. Here comes the tight end situation. Jay Salty is the backup tight end starting number 87, and he made I think, a very astute comment. He says, I can catch that ball. He says, what people don't realize, I've been catching from Danny White for the last 3 years. And we run the other people's calls. Here's the face mask call we had. He says, get away from me.
It's a fair call. Good call.
Cowboys did accept the penalty. The down remains the same. The ball at the 4-yard line. First down, goal to go. 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Chargers temporarily on top 3-0. Springs and Newhouse, the setbacks for the Cowboys. Ron Springs. Touchdown, Dallas, and they move out front. Ron Springs, a second-year man from Ohio State, who turned the corner and got the first and goal. Very good athlete. He does a lot of things, as Don mentioned earlier. Good baseball player. They got him fairly cheap in the draft, the 5th round, because he was hurt as a senior. Let's watch him again.
Good block over here on the left side. You see, that was Doug Cosby, number 84. Here's Rafferty out in front, 64. They had that one blocked so well. That was Dan Horn, the middle linebacker, who was out on the outside, didn't close quick enough to make the tackle.
Ron Springs on to Tom Rafferty, half his game ball. Rafferty with a key block on the long run, and here's Septian. And the Cowboys take a 7-3 lead. 1:58 remaining in the first quarter. And that score won't stay there for very long. We'll be back at Texas Stadium in a moment. Second-year man Steve Wilson got it all started with an interception back at his own 30-yard line. Ron Springs did the bulk of the work as the Cowboys go in to take the lead 7-3 over San Diego. Septian hits it. Angling towards Mike Fuller, and Mike Fuller takes it at the 6. Mike Fuller feels the pressure of the Cowboys special team at the 18-yard line.
What you most have to respect about the Cowboys, it seems to me, Frank, is the way they've been rebuilt under the leadership of Landry and Gil Brandt. They've got 6 rookies on this club. The 2 players who figured in the last turnabout that gave Dallas the lead, Steve Wilson and Ron Springs, are second-year men, one a free agent. And yet they rebuild the team with youth and at the same time sustain their continuing excellence of all the recent years. That's organization.
Cappelletti in motion on 1st and 10. About to the air, man wide open, Jefferson. And Jefferson looks for the sideline, saw he had running room, and moves out over the 35, close to the 37. Aaron Mitchell piling up his coverage back there defensively with Charlie Waters. And Charlie Waters, the veteran back there, now talking to them and trying to explain what went wrong.
Well, you have to give instant credit to Fouts. He comes back unafraid after the last interception.
Oh, yeah, he's not going to be afraid. That was really a rather ingenious pass pattern.
I tell you, 2 weeks ago against Oakland, he was sacked 7 times, came back again and again. He threw for 388 yards in a losing cause there. Capoletti in motion. Draw play, Muncie. And Muncie surges up to the 43-yard line. A gain of about 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. John Dutton is in there defensively for the Cowboys. Big number 78, you remember, came from Baltimore a year ago for first and second round draft picks. There he is.
Interesting the way they're using Dutton now. He's sharing time about half and half with Larry Cole. He's now catching on to this Cowboys system. Took him a while.
Three-time Pro Bowler with Baltimore. Management problems. They couldn't sign him. He was signed just before the trading deadline ended a year ago. 2nd and 4. Batted down. Jefferson would have taken it for a first.
Boy, he would have taken it for at least the first. He had only Bob Brunig, and Bob Brunig certainly couldn't match him in speed, and Jefferson even had a few steps on Brunig. You'll see it, Brunig number 53. Fouts comes back. Who knocked the ball down? Was it White? I mean, too tall. Look at too tall. Blap.
6'9" he is.
And there you saw right there at the bottom, that's Jefferson running in front of Brunig.
He could knock it down when he comes out to be introduced.
If he only could have hit the opponent in the ring that way.
Hey, what, this year in boxing really got him in good shape. Everybody's talking about what great shape he's in.
Maybe that's why he did it. 3rd and 4. And Fouts tried to slide it in between 2 defenders to John Floyd, incomplete, and the crowd likes it. San Diego will have to turn it over.
You know what I think may have happened then, too, is, again, Jones was in front of him, and Fouts threw that ball a little bit high. He didn't hit it.
That's right.
But he got his attention the play
He
before.
forced a change in trajectory. There's no question about it. He's 7 feet and a half inches tall suddenly when he leaps up.
6'32". Rick Partridge will punt for San Diego. James Jones.
Rick Partridge was a high school All-American quarterback out in Tustin, California.
He sure drops it funny. Jones has it at the 17. Jones does a pirouette and goes down at the 15. Booker Russell was hustling down there for San Diego.
Yeah, that was his dance partner, Booker Russell. That was a pirouette. He says, you go this way. 1 and a 1, 2, 3.
Take a look at it. It really is funny, Don, the way he drops it.
Yeah, let's see.
He drops it with the end almost, or sideways just about.
Well, I'll be doggone. He sure does. He hit his foot, though, didn't it?
It sure did. It was a brilliant kick.
He's 4th in the AFC, so we can't fault the distance.
Tremendous hang time.
That Frank has a heck of an eye for detail, doesn't he? You see that?
That's because he once tried to kick.
Glad you said tried. 1st and 10. Cowboys at the 17. They lead 7-3. White taking the play and comes back and delivers it there to the rookie, Timmy Newsome.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Timmy Newsome, a 6th-round draft pick out of Winston-Salem State. Another one of your Gil Brandts.
Absolutely. That play has been in the playbook since day one, 1960. And it is. And a lot of other teams, of course, run it too. But it's that fake to the inside.
Little bootleg.
The guy you fake to, he goes on out. Comes back to the other guy on the inside. Quarterback rolls out. I'll swear it's a hard pattern to cover. That linebacker's got to think very quickly. He's going to get caught up in the middle.
Timmy is 6'1", 227 pounds, a rookie from Winston-Salem. He led that Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association in scoring and rushing for the last 3 years. He gets the first down out at the 33-yard line, Timmy Newsome. And this is Ron Springs. Springs cuts in behind the block of Herbert Scott. Ambles for 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6, taken there by Pete Shaw, the strong safety for San Diego.
Well, he didn't really amble, Frank. He forced that 4, and that's the kind of runner he is. Had that brief hole, busted in, poured in on the tacklers.
Yeah, but amble sounds nice.
Amble.
Well, yes. Put an R in front of it, it sounds even better.
That's
Ramble.
We'll try and correct it.
I bet you guys do crossword puzzles.
Cowboys may not get this playoff before time expires here in the 1st quarter. They do. Jones Jones over the left side. And Jones up close to the 41-yard line before he is pushed back. And it'll be 3rd down and 2. The quarter has expired, and the Cowboys lead is 7-3. And when we come back, the Cowboys will have a 3rd and 2. The ball at their own 41-yard line. The Dallas Cowboys have a 7-3 lead over the San Diego Chargers. The Cowboys trying to stay within one game of the Philadelphia Eagles in the Eastern Division of the NFC. San Diego trying to stay one game atop the charging Oakland Raiders in the Western Division of the AFC. The Raiders now with consecutive wins. They defeated Seattle today. They beat Pittsburgh a week ago, and they beat San Diego the week before that. 3rd down, a long yard for the Cowboys at their 41-yard line. This is Timmy Newsom, and Newsom close to the 1st down after the 43-yard line. Ray Preston will be at the bottom of that pile along with Charlie DeJournay.
There's the Cowboy Hall of Fame. Chuck Howley.
There you go.
Number 17.
There you go.
Don Meredith.
Jeff and Hazel's baby.
Bob Lilly, the incomparable.
From Throckmorton, Texas.
Yeah, Don Perkins.
Boy, he was tough, wasn't he, Don?
Oh, yeah. All those guys are tough guys up there. What can I tell you? Really tough. No. Yeah, Bob was one of those really exceptionally gifted athletes. Chuck Howley is a good one. Perkins.
Chuck Howley was the MVP in a losing cause in the 71 Super Bowl.
Fourth time that's happened, isn't it?
Yep, when Baltimore beat him. So there are the stats for the first quarter. Pretty even. San Diego with an edge in possession time, but Landry said we must avoid mistakes. And he forced a San Diego mistake, the intercept on Fouts by Steve Wilson, the key point in the first quarter.
Mike Fuller, sporting almost an 11-yard return average thus far in the season, is awaiting Danny White's punt. Danny White, no, he's going to pick up the 1st down easily.
I love it. Now, he did that on his own.
Danny White inside the 40 to the 39, and you always do that on your own.
Oh, I love it. I swear to you, I started to say, nobody will ever ask me to coach. Right? In a situation, you got to have a running play, and you only got a foot to go.
Well, he did
from a punt formation. Look at it. The teammate, they don't know he's running except Brunig. He looks back and sees him. Then he did that once last year, and it backfired on him. He's done it several times down here.
He also will throw from that position.
Well, you love to see it happen, and what it does is another big turning point for Dallas.
Go for it.
Danny White catching his breath. We suspect we'll see a handoff, although he does not call the plays.
That's right.
He's getting pumped up again, they'll say, and they'll send in a running play. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line of the Chargers. Ron Springs. Springs running into trouble in the form of Woody Lowe. Falls forward for about a yard and a half. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Roger must be enjoying this. Staubach and his wife are just 2 booths down. And he's here on a busman's holiday.
We're not on one. We'll be chartering to New York tonight immediately after this game. We'll be there for the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. And the Dolphins give a new life in that Eastern Division of the AFC. New England getting knocked off today. Ron Springs, single setback, 2nd down 9. White is back. White drops a football.
Good move.
And the Cowboy gets in there and takes it, Pat Donovan.
Big break.
Now, that was really being alert. Donovan.
Wilbur Young was all over Danny White, pulled the ball out, and Pat Donovan saved it for the Cowboys. Watch again.
I think this is when Danny might have liked to have been left-handed. He got back up, stepped back up, wanted to run there for a moment, saw a receiver, too late. There's Young, stripped him of the ball.
This is why Young is used on obvious pass plays. The man has become a superb pass rusher.
Really alert play by Donovan there. That's really being heads-up ball.
Loss of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 12. Ball at the 41-yard line of the Chargers. Dallas on top, 7-3. Danny White out of the shotgun. Danny White bobbles the ball and is picked up by Tom Rafferty.
I'm telling you, that offensive line.
I don't believe what
I don't either.
I never never saw so many breaks. Yes, they're alert.
Charlie DeJournay was all over Danny White, knocked the ball loose once again, and Tom Rafferty came up with it.
This is something you really can't have happen. When you feel the pressure, you do one of two things. Either throw the ball or tuck it. This time, on the outside, DeJournay is the one that hits him, but you would think.
And what a perfect bounce.
Yeah, Rafferty says, it's my time, Donovan. The offensive line, they love to, kibitz about anyway. They never get any. Nobody talks about us. They call them the Irish Connection +1. Those guys doing a good job.
4th down and 6. Out comes Seption. Remember, Charlie Waters holds. He likes to play games back there, too. 52-yard attempt. Short there. Just about the extent of Seption's distance, and that time he was well short. And the Chargers will get field position. The ball will come out to the 35-yard line. A lot of offense here tonight. Two offensive-minded football teams. We'll be back in a moment. In other words, the Chargers do rather well in the second quarter. They've outscored, period, most of their opponents.
Takes him a while to warm his arm up. About a quarter. Now let's get this thing going here, guys.
The 1st and 10, line of scrimmage. After the missed field goal, 35-yard line. Here comes Muncie. And Muncie hammers his way out close to the 40-yard line for a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. D.D. Lewis went low against the 230-pound Muncie, and I don't blame him. D.D. only goes about 215 pounds.
I find the pattern of play of San Diego, the game plan for this game, very interesting. It's almost rule of thumb that you don't run against the flex defense
on 1st down.
And they're doing it again and again.
2nd and 5, the ball just inside the 40-yard line. Cappelletti in motion. Bounce. Quickly spots Jefferson over the middle. Jefferson has the 1st down. Flag is down, and Jefferson is up to the 47-yard line.
That was a slingshot.
Terrific reaction from Fouts. Yeah, just right there. That's called having that gun fired and it's cocked all the time. He can let it go quickly. There's a penalty. I didn't see that.
Once again against the Chargers.
Again, keep in mind tonight, Dan Audie is filling in for an injured Russ Washington, the great all-pro right tackle for the San Diego Chargers, and Audie's job to handle Ed Jones. Here's the call.
Holding, number 67, offense, still 2nd down.
Ed White, the right guard. Holding for San Diego. The ball goes back to the 30-yard line. Down remains the same. 2nd down, 15.
That you wouldn't expect from a veteran like White.
To the air again. And fires complete.
1st down.
Up at the 46-yard line is Charlie Joyner. Charlie Waters was right there with him. But these outside receivers are really something for San Diego. They run great patterns and different patterns.
Do you remember how Joyner kept getting up and coming back? They took him off the field in our final game of the last season against Denver and San Diego.
They had him in the locker room. He came back on. Jefferson is out of that game with a bad ankle. Joyner came back, caught a 32-yard touchdown pass. San Diego won the Western Division of the AFC. Tough man, Charlie Joyner. 1st and 10. Cappelletti. Flag is down. Cappelletti pulls his way inside the 45-yard line for a pickup of 9, but again a flag is down.
Now what?
Again, 1st down run right up the middle.
Penalties against San Diego have killed them.
Illegal motion. And that negates a 9-yard pickup.
The clipping on the long run by Muncie when he got down to the 6-yard line, and Dennis Thurman submarined him. That was a key.
I think Coryell and
Illegal motion, number 67, offense, still 1st down.
Ed White with back-to-back penalties.
Well, it happens, Frank. Even you were called in your time.
Not from the guard position. 1st down, 15. Cowboys with the blitz on, and it bounded out of the hands of Joyner right into the arms of Jefferson.
That is, I'm afraid.
Joyner was smashed. He's lying on the surface of the Texas Stadium. The ball bounced right into the hands of Jefferson, and Joyner was really hit.
And you saw that first man there was Fouts. He is quality kind of guy. I like Danny Fouts, and he knows this guy's hurt. He's going to go over there and check on him in a hurry. He really did take a lick.
Joyner, I believe, is saying I'm all right, but he was hit so hard, I don't think they're going to let him up until they check everything out.
An extraordinary play, though. Look at it again, Don.
Again, you know, we were talking these two outside receivers with Joyner cutting across the middle. D. Lewis was holding in Muncie on the inside. He was just sprung up. That's Wilson coming in from the outside, and what a lick. Again, had to be in the right place at the right time. John Jefferson, hometown boy here. We talked about Jefferson earlier in his 1,000th quest for his third 1,000th year.
Joyner's all right, too.
Wow.
Boy, that's a tough cookie. 12 years he's been doing that. Let's take a look at it again. And the concentration a wide receiver has to have. He didn't take his eyes off that ball for a second. And he gets powdered right there by Wilson. But you better believe after all the years that Joyner has played, he knew he was going to get bonged. And still he tried to come up with the football.
And the ball bounced off of Wilson's shoulder pad, it looked like.
58-yard touchdown. Here's Benershka for the conversion as the Chargers move into the lead. San Diego moves back on top. They lead 10-7, and there's Charlie Joyner having another tremendous year after his best year ever a year ago. We'll be back. A moment ago, we had a shot of Jefferson and went 58 yards for the touchdown. Here's the man who took the shot from Steve Wilson. The ball deflected into the arms of Jefferson, and the Chargers are on top, 10-7. Benershka to kick off. Deep is James Jones. Benershka kicks it high, and it hangs forever. Jones from his 7-yard line. Out over the 25 to the 26-yard line, and a flag goes down. And we could have a clip. Preliminary indication, and it will be a clip, and it'll work against the Dallas Cowboys.
Charlie Joyner, and apparently a blow to the chin.
A little butterfly being applied there. He must have a little cut.
Personal foul, clipping, receiving team, half the distance to the goal line. First down.
They didn't need that penalty right there.
Well, we've got 10 minutes, 12 seconds left in the second quarter. In again, out again game. Something like what we expected, and I'm sure a lot more scoring to come.
Jay Saldi in at tight end for the Cowboys with Billy Joe Dupree, the double tight end attack. Actually, Jay Saldi has caught more balls than Billy Joe Dupree coming into tonight's game. First and 10, the Dallas Cowboys have the ball at their 11-yard line. Reverse. Oh, that's Dupree.
Clip.
And Billy Joe out over the 15 of the 16. The flags are down everywhere.
Yeah, that was John Fitzgerald came out.
I think you could see that one.
Clipping again against the Cowboys. Consecutive clipping calls.
We got a guy down. I hope that's not Kelcher.
I think it's Wilbur Young. I hate to speculate, but I saw him for a moment there in the big number 99. He's being treated.
We mentioned, I think, at the top of the show, Kelcher's the guy that's coming off of the bad knee. You know, I see Louis down there. So.
Yeah, he's 74. Yeah. He is so huge, he's frightening.
Really is. All right, there's some words of wisdom over there. Thrill Hill's talking to the coach. He says, got to put that ball in the air, don't you think, Coach?
Personal foul, clipping, number 62, offense, still first down.
You're right, it was Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I think Wilbur Young is on his feet. Wilbur Young goes about 290. 6'6". Comes off on his own locomotion. And the ball now has been moved back to the 6-yard line. Down remains the same. First and 15.
San Diego's developing a minor look of Hank Stram's past. Muncie, Wilbur Young.
The old offense of the 70s.
That's right, it lasted 1 year, 1970.
Now, you did not have to say that. Well, maybe he was ahead of his time.
He was.
First and 15. Springs tries the right side. Louis Kelcher crawls all over him.
Oh, did he ever?
Loss of a yard.
SMU boy right there.
Ooh, what a brute that is.
One of the ponies, and they're celebrating down here in SMU land. They knocked off Texas yesterday.
Glad you brought that up.
Producer Bobby Goodrich, all aglow this morning at our production meeting.
First time they beat the Longhorns since 1966. And Goodrich, of course, was the star of that game.
Second down, 16, the ball at the 5-yard line. Pearson and Hill, the wide receivers, both split to the left. Draw play, Newhouse. Newhouse out close to the 8-yard line. It'll be third down and 13. Louis Kelcher again on the stop as we look at Wilbur Young being treated on the sidelines.
Gosh, you just hate to see those knees were the ones that, those things. That's what Big Rush Washington had.
Oh, but
they tell me his was really a tough.
Yeah, just almost deformed. The whole kneecap moved totally over to one side.
Ooh.
But the surgery successful, and they anticipate he'll play again.
Clock moving. Inside 9 minutes remaining in the first half. Chargers leading the Cowboys 10-7. Third and long as Danny White slides into the shotgun. Wide, Woody Lowe. 6 points, and it comes the easy way as Woody Lowe takes it in.
Oh, what a bad mistake.
Yeah, Woody ran a great route. Man, he just hit it.
He was the only one open, I guess.
That was it.
Woody Lowe, a great one from the Crimson Tide of Alabama.
Let's see. Pretty good little pressure coming in from the outside. Leroy Jones, but there's right there, wide open, trying to get the ball out to his back.
Why take that risk? You can't give a team like the Chargers this kind of lead.
Chargers extend their lead.
I put a little quiet on the stadium.
There he is, Woody Lowe. 5th round draft pick in '76. Came up the same year his counterpart on the other side, Ray Preston, came up. Starting linebackers, Preston and Woody Lowe. And they're good ones. Benershka, the man who came so near to death a year ago from Crohn's disease, drills it through the uprights. 17-7, the Chargers over the Cowboys. Strange game, a lot of points. We hope you're enjoying on a Sunday night ABC NFL special. We'll be back in a moment. Woody Lowe made the turnover, got into the end zone from 16 yards out on the interception. Benershka to kick off for San Diego. Jones is deep for the Cowboys. Benershka really hammers this one. Jones from the goal line. And Jones out to the 24-yard line where the Cowboys, all of a sudden down 17-7, will have possession. Off Benershka. We told you about his problems of a year ago. He had surgery just about this time a year ago. Got down from, 175 to about 120 pounds. He doesn't get interested in what happens, and we really can't blame him.
That's a protection against the aftermath of the surgery.
So you can see the pads and things that he's wearing to protect that, but you can't ever really be too safe.
You'll hear more about him and his struggle to return to this game at halftime. First and 10, Dallas. Ron Springs follows Tom Rafferty around the corner. And Springs out close to the 29-yard line, a gain of about 4. It'll be second down and 6. Pete Shaw defensively for the Chargers up there, number 44.
And Louis Kelcher. Louis Kelcher is all over that field. They missed Tony Dorsett, too. No question about it. We've raved about Springs, but he's been moved into Tony's spot. Robert Newhouse been moved back to the fullback spot, and you just can't help but miss a speed back like Dorsett.
Wearing the flak jacket. That was the bulk around his midriff, but he did not practice, so he's not playing this far tonight. This is Newhouse on second down and 6. Newhouse out to the 33-yard line, a gain of about 3. It'll be third down and a long 2. Ray Preston defensively there for the Chargers.
One of the things Landry does by calling the plays, he certainly can control the emotional aspect. You'd think if you throw a pass, they'd get down. Tennessee could be for a quarterback. All right, I've got to get these points back in a hurry. And this is his game plan. He's been working on it. He's going to run it until they prove the game plan wrong.
Good point. I just wonder about the pass play he called on the intercept by Lowe.
He called it. He just didn't throw it.
Danny White did not like the play as it was designed on 3rd down and 2. Uses one of his timeouts. He'll have 2 remaining.
He just had some choice words for Ron Springs there, too.
So Danny White will move over and visit with Tom Landry, who's in conference with Danny Reeves up in the press box.
Well, there was a tragedy in sports today. Victor Galindez, former light heavyweight champion of the world, was killed in an auto race in De Mayo, Argentina. He and his co-driver abandoned their car and were killed when struck by another car in the pit. Victor, of course, became champion in December '74, lost the title to Mike Rossman in New Orleans September 15, 1978, won it back from Rossman, and then lost it for the last time November 30th, 1979. He was a great fighter, decent man, terrible tragedy.
Interesting call down in the field, delay of game. 3rd down and 6, and here comes Preston Pearson. And he's corralled there by Pete Shaw. That Preston Pearson gets up close to the 1st down at the 35-yard line.
This kid Shaw is a hitter. Pretty good, too, for a 5th-round draft choice. Pretty good pick. He's the guy who displaced Mike Fuller.
And Dallas gets the 1st down. Preston Pearson. And Preston Pearson, one of a couple of Cowboys who were not homegrown, came for the Pittsburgh Steelers a few years ago as a free agent, and he has really contributed to Dallas over these past few years. Actually came in '75. In 5 years here with the Cowboys, he's been on the receiving end of 175 passes.
I guess they figured they couldn't grow them all. Pittsburgh is a good place to go get one.
They grow them rather well there.
That's it.
1st and 10. Wide open, and this is Timmy Newsom. Newsom gets the 1st down, steps out of bounds at the 48-yard line, stops the clock at 6:43 remaining in the half.
A little extra time to throw. That's what he had that time. That was a rather slow developing play. Newsom came out of the backfield, across the field.
Going back a moment, Don, we're told by the NFL that the 30-second clock had run before the timeout was called. That's why we had the delay of game penalty.
If I'd have known that, I wouldn't have said it was interesting.
It still is.
Ball at the 48-yard line. White trying to get the screen off, and there's a crowd gathered around Billy Joe Dupree. Reading the screen beautifully and sliding out there defensively was Ray Preston, number 52 for the Chargers.
Got Preston and Lowe. You mentioned it earlier. Those two guys did come in together. Great friends, roommates, and they do play the linebacker position really well. That one was read all the way. No place to go. Billy Joe, this is the kind that you even hate to see him try to catch because that tip-up, there's going to be another defensive back there pretty close. Can't pick it off. Good coverage by Preston.
We mentioned ago, he came up that same year with Woody Lowe, who scored a few moments ago for the Chargers, only Preston came up as an 11th-round draft pick.
One of the lads from Syracuse.
48-yard line. 2nd down and 10. Danny White being pursued by Dean. Dean misses, and White gets a 1st down to the 40-yard line. Leroy Jones finally makes a stop. But Danny White, risking life and limb, hurdles to the 40 for the 1st.
Looked like they were going to get him about 3 times. He just kept just one little half step ahead of him.
Now they mark it inside the 42, but that's still yardage enough for the 1st down.
It's critical for Dallas to get a score before the end of the half. So quickly, things turned against them. 2 touchdowns in rapid-fire order.
Out to the right comes Tony Hill, and out to the left is Drew Pearson. Ron Springs having a little problem out there tonight. And Drew Pearson is pounded. And now they say incomplete. Mike Williams, one of the fine defensive backs in football today, attacked Drew Pearson. Pass ruled incomplete.
You don't see Tom that angry that often, so I think the odds are pretty good he caught the ball.
No, I think the call was perfectly proper by the officials. This is a partisan crowd, and Landry's in a partisan position.
You think Tom's pulling for the Cowboys?
I think, yes.
All right, let's see.
Watch him get hit and watch the ball.
Well, the ball did come out all right.
If it didn't, you'd get a story, I'll tell you.
2nd and 10. Got a lot of angry folks down here right now. Danny White. Goes to Newsome. And Newsome attracts a crowd at the 33-yard line, short of the first down.
I'll tell you, that was a dangerous pass.
Pete Shaw almost had that one.
He almost did. You had another 7 points. But Danny, I must say, moved up beautifully when it appeared that he was going to be sacked.
Had good secondary coverage. The linebackers got a good drop.
Watch this.
They look for the pass. That's the good move you're talking about. Look at Shaw, number 44, almost on time. A step away.
It's not much noted around the league, but San Diego is second in their conference in pass defense. You don't throw against them easily. They get a good pass rush from Fred Dean, Jones, or Johnson. 3rd down and 2. All at the 33-yard line. 4:50 and the clock is moving. And
I can't believe that.
I don't know what's going on.
Cowboys. They call another timeout, and Danny will move over to the sidelines.
They're down to 1 timeout.
I think it could be, if I might try and explain it, the Cowboys are shuffling running backs in and out. They have a very complex offensive system. If they don't get the right combination in there to run the play that is sent in, well, Danny's just not going to try and run it.
That plus Ron Springs is really playing a new position. He's been playing fullback most all year with Dorsett in there.
That's all true, but they can't afford it. What they're doing is self-defeating.
You're right. It is a mistake. I think what Frank's talking about is that sometimes, there's sometimes better reasons for mistakes than others, but they may have a better reason tonight than ordinarily. There's old Chuck. Chuck Muncie.
He's got it, too, I'll tell you.
He's happy. He left a team that's now 0-8 for a team that has a reasonable chance to get to the Super Bowl. In fact, a very good chance.
Landry again on the phones. Danny Reeves in a press box right near us.
Danny Reeves was the guy, Frank, as we know, started out the season, and he was going to call the plays, and Tom was just going to work on defense. And talking to Danny in preseason, he said, yeah, it might last through the preseason. And it did. It lasted just through the preseason. Now Tom's called him again.
I think what Danny was complaining about, he said, you send the play in, but you don't have the right personnel in here to run the play.
You know what else happens sometimes, too? They have so many formations. A lot of times he'll send plays in, and he'll give the runner the formation. And then White says, wait a minute, we don't run that play from this formation. It does get confusing.
Well, we've got it all sorted out.
Yes, sir.
Cowboys now with 1 timeout. 3rd down and 2. Once again, the ball at the 33-yard line of the Chargers, and the Cowboys are down 17-7. They need something here in the first half. Danny White. Billy Joe Dupree, and Billy Joe has the first down at the 17-yard line.
The same play we mentioned earlier that's been in the playbook since 1960. If that back is not open, which he wasn't, the linebacker blocked him coming out, then the drag man coming across is the tight end. You'll see Newsome trying to get out. He can't get open. He's covered, so he looks back into that tight end coming across the middle, and there's Billy Joe Dupree.
Billy Joe had 2 steps on Woody Lowe. It was Lowe finally made the tackle. But Dallas is doing what they have to do. They're down to 4 minutes, 10 seconds left in the half. They're down to 1 timeout, but they must get some points on the board.
1st and 10. Ball at the 17-yard line. And Danny White quickly turns around and tells Springs, you're in the wrong place again. Springs breaks loose from one tackle, rather Timmy Newsome, the ball carrier. And they are having trouble getting lined up in the right place.
Well, again, you got another. Timmy Newsome is a rookie, and he has not played much at all this year. So there's some confusion back there.
Well, his namesake, Ozzie Newsome, was brilliant today. He made the catch from sight that beat the Steelers 27-26.
Brian Sight, who played for Don Coryell. He likes to put the ball in the air.
Oh, we'll be up there a week from this Monday. That's going to have a good game there. The Bears come to Cleveland.
2nd and 10. Danny White fires deep in the end zone. And Billy Joe Dupree does not hold on. It would have been 6.
Well, there I felt he had an excuse. He had trouble keeping his balance. He temporarily lost vision on the ball, and that's why he dropped it.
Let's see. I think that the Chargers are saying that Billy Joe interfered with them down in the end zone. Nobody was open. You see those big guys come at you, you're going to throw it down there deep. Yeah. Let's see what we can find out. Billy Joe does have good hands. He's got them up there. You'd certainly expect him to catch that one.
Should have called for a fair catch.
Yeah.
That's how difficult it was.
He was falling backwards as the ball was coming to him in flight.
3rd and 10, out of the shotgun. Danny White, wide open in the end zone. And Butch Johnson takes it. Touchdown, Dallas.
I tell you, Frank, I love that kid, Butch Johnson. They got to find more playing time for that man.
Good move by Danny White there. Again, moving up out of the, see a little pressure coming to the outside. The 3 wide receiver offense moves up, and at the last moment, zip. He almost went over the line of scrimmage. I think saw Johnson late. It opened up in the end zone. Touchdown. They did need that touchdown to get back in the ball game.
And they're back in it. Raphael Septian. Septian puts it through the uprights. Whistles were blowing. Flags were flying before the snap.
Ball start, number 78, offense.
Ball start by the Dallas Cowboys. Number 78, of course, John Dutton.
There's Butch Johnson.
Good going, Butch.
You mentioned, Howard, he was ready really to challenge for a starting job a year ago, the 79 season, and he broke the little finger on his hand, and he missed 5 games. And he had a tremendous preseason in 79, and he had a good shot to get in there. And then, of course, he missed 5, and Drew Pearson and Tony Hill came along, both of them 1,000-yard seasons. How can you replace them? Septian following the penalty. Bears down, gets it to the uprights, and the Cowboys now trail by 3 points. We have 2:57 remaining here in the first half. We'll be back in a moment. 17 yards, but Danny White made it look easy. In trouble, bounced out of the pocket, found Butch Johnson. The Cowboys are down by 3. Raphael Septian to kick off. Chuck Muncie deep. This will be a short kick.
Missed that ball.
And out of bounds, and that will move it back 5 yards, and we'll do it all over again. Raphael Septian.
Kicked his kicking tee about 7 yards, so I'd say he may have dipped a little bit too deep to get that one.
Out of bounds, and no Charger touched it, so they'll mark off 5 yards, and Septian will kick at the 30-yard line.
Well, this is
Been slowing this game down.
in terms of time consumed, and the number of penalties involved thus far has something to do with that. Number of times the ball has been put in the air also has something to do with it.
And Dallas not being able to line up right on 3rd and short a couple of times has something else to do with it. They've just used a couple of timeouts. Boy, we've got a lot of answers tonight.
Chuck Muncie, he did not return kickoffs for New Orleans a year ago.
Well, he was supposed to, but he kept missing those meetings.
There's one way to get to San Diego.
That's it.
Septian will hit it again from the 30-yard line. We'll watch him from the end zone. Muncie collects it at the 15-yard line. Muncie is collected at the 36-yard line by James Jones.
I didn't like the way he was holding that football.
He carries it that way, and he's not a fumbler either. Sort of like a Jim Brown. Remember how he used to carry with that one big hand? He just...
Well, whatever Jim Brown did, he did it right. The record proves that.
All right, getting close to that 2-minute thing.
Pretty close ratio between passing and rushing plays for the Chargers, but even more interesting, the Chargers have had only 3 offensive plays this entire quarter.
Charlie Joyner, by the way, is back in the ballgame, wide receiver now for the Chargers. Motion man, Mike Thomas. Fouts will put it in the air. Jefferson. close to a first down out near the 47-yard line, hit by Aaron Mitchell, and that's an understatement when you speak of Mitchell, the right cornerback, number 34 for the Cowboys. He will lay it on you.
Frank, that's extraordinary that before that play they had the ball for only 3 plays the whole quarter.
And Dallas had it for a lot of plays, didn't they?
They sure did. San Diego's had the ball for only 1:45 seconds of this quarter with 2:14 left.
And they need, on 2 strange plays, an interception and a deflection. 17-14. Bounce. Winslow. And Kellen Winslow hammers his way down to close to the 32-yard line. The big second-year man from Missouri, as time expires, and we get the 2-minute warning. Both teams regroup, and we'll be back in Texas Stadium here in Irving, Texas, right after this message from the National Football League. That announcement brought to you by Randy Hughes, former All-Pro safety for the Dallas Cowboys in the National Football League. And what a night Jefferson is having, the leading receiver in the AFC coming into tonight's game. As a matter of fact, the Chargers have 3 in the top 5, 3 in the top 4, if you will. Kellen Winslow is in second place before tonight, and Charlie Joyner was in fourth place. First and 10. Ball at the 33-yard line of the Cowboys. Bounce on top. And just off the fingertips of Mike Thomas.
Tell you, had that ball been perfectly thrown,
That was 6.
forget it. Forget it.
Yeah.
This team can kill you with the quickness of their strike. A couple of minutes ago, before the 2-minute warning.
San Diego is going to be marked off against the referee Dick Jurgensen discussing the penalty with the Cowboys.
Now they'll move them out of.
Holding, number 67, offense, still first down.
Ed White having a big night for the Chargers at right guard.
That's 3 we can remember being called on him.
Ball all the way back to the 43-yard line. Down remains the same. First down 20, 1:56 remaining in the first half. Cowboys coming with the blitz. Fouts tries to go to Jefferson, and Aaron Mitchell was right there.
That last penalty was a killer. Probably took them out of field goal range. Les Fouts can pull a miracle here on 3rd down. What I was going to say, Frank, is just before the 2-minute warning, the fans saw Kellen Winslow on a beautifully sophisticated pattern crash ahead, and one thought instantly, this kid's cutting the mold of Casper, Francis, and Billy Joe.
He was off in a spectacular year as a rookie a year ago when he cracked a bone in his leg in the 7th game and missed the remainder of the season. He picked up where he left off a year ago. Kellen Winslow. 2nd and 20. Fouts. Joyner.
Is that
First down inside the Dallas 10-yard line.
Oh, that's a pretty pass. I love the
All right.
those things.
I used the phrase a beautifully sophisticated pattern. Will you explain? First, look at it again, Don, and then explain what I mean.
It's a beautifully sophisticated pattern in this. He's got Joyner coming out, going right down the middle. He's cleared the middle out with the other receivers, sending them to the outside. Left him all that room to run in there. Almost impossible to cover a guy like that, but the ball was thrown right on the money. He was covered pretty well.
And kudos to Billy Shields, number 66, left tackle for the Chargers. He's doing quite a job on Harvey Martin. Harvey Martin getting up there, but Shields drops back and then takes Harvey Martin with his own momentum to the outside. Fout steps up, and he has time to deliver the ball.
Gee, when you've got that ability for the quick strike, tremendous asset.
Don Coryell, now in his 3rd year, took over in 78 after 4 games, and the remainder of 78 went 8-4. But I'll tell you, when he was a collegiate coach, he believed in the same things he believes in now. 3 years at Whittier and 12 years at San Diego State. He won 127 games, lost 24.
Well, I like what Gene Klein, the principal owner of the Chargers, said the other day. Said, let's face it, I was a fool. I never should have let him go to St. Louis. I should have hired him right out of there myself.
Hey, he drove the Cowboys crazy at St. Louis. He won the division there a couple of years, 74 and 75. First down, goal to go. Jefferson in motion. Winslow, touchdown, and the Chargers
They are top.
in the lead. And Kellen Winslow, we were talking to you a moment ago. He's 6'6", 250 pounds, and he has remarkable quickness.
Oh, that was really a pretty drive there.
Oh, how fast.
thought he was going to come back to Jefferson because Jefferson had the secondary screwed up. He was going all the way to Winslow. Charlie Waters got there a little bit too late. Winslow came from his tight end position, was wide open. He had to have 5 guys in a pattern. Somebody's going to be open. All he's got to have is a little time to throw.
Meredith drills it. And the Cowboys go out on top, 24-14, and don't go to the fridge yet. 1:37 remaining in the half, and the Cowboys are going to get the football. I set the Cowboys on top. Chargers on top, 24-14.
It happens, Frank.
Well, maybe you went to the fridge. Winslow, second-year man out of Missouri, made it look so easy.
Oh, what a player. There are the standings. A reminder again, the NFC East. Dallas needing this game to remain but one back of the high-flying Philadelphia Eagles. Dick Vermeil led. They have a way of winning. And there are the standings of the AFC West. Oakland suddenly charging up, threatening. San Diego needs this game to remain a game ahead of the Raiders.
Berneshka. Boy, does he hit those kickoffs high. Jones. And Jones out over the 30-yard line. Where Dallas will have a minute and 32 seconds and 2 timeouts in which to operate.
That's Kellen Winslow, the young man from the University of Missouri. And what a player.
23 years old. My God.
2 years in a row. In the National Football League, they have drafted tight ends #1 from the Big 8. There's another beauty this year, a kid with the Falcons who upset the Rams today. His name, Junior Miller. He went to Nebraska.
Danny White out of the shotgun. We've been told they were not charged with the timeout when they were penalized earlier here in the second quarter. So the Cowboys have 2 timeouts. And contact was made. Could have been that a Cowboy had drawn the charges off, and that is the call.
What happened?
Procedure. So it'll be 1st and 15. Ball marked off to the 26.
Number 68, offense, still first down.
Herb Scott, left guard, Cowboys, false start.
Conference pride is at stake in this game, too. After this afternoon's activity, the AFC leads the NFC 17 victories to 6.
Dallas, in their series with AFC teams, overwhelming victories. Preston Pearson behind the screen. Quick move to the outside. After he picks up the first down, he gets out around the 41-yard line, upended by Louis Kelcher, the big man in pursuit. Seconds ticking away as Dallas, this is their offense. Well, they marked it inside the 41, so it'll be 2nd and short now as we approach the 1-minute mark. Incomplete. It was intended for Drew Pearson. He was hit by Willie Buchanan, could not hold on. It'll be 3rd down and short yardage back at the 41.
Interesting case history, Buchanan, in this league. Remember, #1 draft choice for Green Bay. Scintillated for a couple of years. Then they figured he was washed up, moved around. Winds up with San Diego. In fact, had a bad year last year. But this year seems to be playing in the gradings of the coaches very well.
It is unusual how a guy can go, but that's in such a key position, though. You're out there all alone, and you can have those really good years, and then all of a sudden it can go sour on you. It's not too often that they come back and put the good ones after they've had those bad ones.
3rd down, less than a yard. White.
Nice money.
Jones, first down, right at midfield.
Good throw right there.
56 seconds on the scoreboard clock. Cowboys with 2 timeouts.
Best defensive back I ever saw was raised by Steve O. It was Frank Gifford.
He could cover him, couldn't he?
Did you cover football then?
I
Way
used
back
to
there.
live at Yankee Stadium.
I was in the Polo Grounds.
I was there. Remember the mud game in '55 against the Chicago Cardinals?
There's no
The
way I
then
can get you.
Chicago Cardinals.
I would say I remember it, but then you would detail it. First and 10, Cowboys midfield. And Brett Dean literally took the ball away from Danny White. And he gets it back.
We would have had another one of those San Diego touchdowns.
I thought he had it. I think Dean did too. He started running. White held on to it. Oh, boy.
Hurry up offense, the seconds ticking off. 45 seconds, the clock is moving. Take a quick look on the replay. But meanwhile, live action on the field.
Come on, Dave, just start it for me.
Billy Joe Dupree. He drops the football. And I believe a Charger has it.
Oh.
San Diego comes up with it.
They got time for another field goal.
Billy Joe Dupree at midfield bobbled the football. And the Chargers get it at the 41-yard line.
With Fouts, who knows? Another touchdown. This is getting like last Monday night's
Pete
game.
Shaw comes up with the football for San Diego.
They sure been bumbling and fumbling around out here this first half. Billy Joe catches this one.
Ray Preston put the hit on Billy
yes,
Joe.
he did.
Preston Pearson misses. Shaw just waits till it pops out, and he gets the ball for San Diego. They're inside the 41-yard line of the Cowboys. 27 seconds remaining in the half. Chargers with 2 timeouts. Kellen Winslow, that's what you can do with this big man. You can split him out wide. He becomes like a wide receiver, even as big as he is. Another Charger first down, which is almost academic with 21 seconds remaining in the half.
Yeah, the Cowboys are going to be in a lot of trouble
If there's another
touchdown here. 24-14 is going to be testing them to come back. But you put a 31 up there, you got some problems.
1 timeout now for Dan Fouts, conferring there with Don Coryell. Fouts' touchdown pass to Winslow a few moments ago was his 100th career touchdown pass. And he is only in his 8th year. It's just remarkable. What a great joining of philosophies. Fouts, who loves to throw the ball, and Coryell, who likes to watch him.
Yeah, I think it's...
That's very well put.
It is. I haven't seen a quarterback yet who doesn't love to throw. I think he just happened to bump into Coryell, who happened to agree with it. Most coaches say, no, you run. You got to run to set up that path.
1 timeout remaining for San Diego. Joyner right, Jefferson left. He hangs it up. It'll be a battle for it. Easy one as Jefferson ran right by Steve Wilson, who was back there trying to cover him. Fouts misdirected, incomplete.
That's true. It was misdirected. Had it been properly directed, it was an easy touchdown.
He had a lot of folks looking at him right eyeball to eyeball wearing white jerseys that time. He got some pressure, did throw it up. But Jefferson put some moves on Mitchell back there. He left him pretty well tied up.
Benerski's ready.
2nd down 10, 16 seconds on the clock. Joyner goes right, Jefferson left. Let's try it again.
That had to slip, didn't it?
Alley-oop as San Diego looking for either the completion or pass interference.
10 seconds left.
3rd and 10.
Listen, I saw a team at 3rd and 48 today with less than 2 minutes left. They not only made the 48, they made a touchdown.
Let me guess who that was. Is it a team down south?
It sure is.
Wasn't New Orleans, was it?
No.
Don't give me any clues. Red jerseys?
Yes.
The Falcons.
Of course.
I saw that.
Wasn't that unbelievable?
Yeah.
3rd and 48, and Bodkowski hits Alfred Jackson.
10 seconds on the clock. 3rd down 10. Muncie gets the call right side. Looking for field goal position is San Diego.
Didn't get out of bounds.
Pounded. They can stop it with their 1 remaining timeout, which they do with 3 seconds. And we'll see Ralph Benerska.
I'm not sure I understand that.
I don't either, as a matter of fact. He's throwing the ball. Oh, well, he wanted to go for that field goal, I assume.
Ralph Benerska with Mike Fuller holding. Mike Fuller has been known to play some tricks as a holder. By the way, you mentioned that game, Bartkowski to Alfred Jackson, winning touchdown, last minute of the game over the Rams. We'll be showing you some of the highlights from today's action and a compelling, interesting piece concerning this man, Ralph Benerska, who is attempting another 45-yard kick. He's already hit from 45 tonight. This time he's off to the right. Time has expired here in the first half. Back and forth. Strange game on a long Sunday night of football. Chargers over the Cowboys 24-14. We'll be ready for our halftime features after this message and a word from our local. In Dallas at halftime, we expected a lot of points. We did not expect they would come the way they did. Picking up the action, Dallas leading 7-3 here in the second quarter. Fouts fires over the middle. Charlie Joyner is hit there hard by Steve Wilson. The ball right into the hands of John Jefferson, and John Jefferson collects it and moves 58 yards, and that put San Diego out on top, 10-7. A little later on, Danny White operating near his own end zone, looking for a receiver downfield, looking for Jones. Stepping in front of it is Woody Lowe, number 51, and Woody Lowe one-hands it, pops it in the air, takes it, and moves 16 yards for another San Diego touchdown. San Diego on top 17-7. Dallas came right back out of the shotgun. Watch Danny White. He gets in trouble. All his receivers covered. Steps back into the pocket. Finds Butch Johnson just before he crosses the line of scrimmage. Drills it into Butch, and Dallas came back. Now trailing only by 3. But San Diego closed out the scoring. The big tight end, Kellen Winslow, number 80, out of Missouri. 6'6", 250-pounder. They can move him out. He can actually play wide receiver if they so desire. Keep your eyes on number 80, Kellen Winslow. He is going to be a great one. And there, of course, Ralph Bernushka. You saw the story of Ralph Bernushka starting last year. Kicked 4 consecutive field goals against Oakland. And then, of course, you saw the rest of the story, a very compelling story. And so often, such humanity wrapped up in the cloak of an athletic uniform, certainly in the case of Ralph Bernushka. Set to go now. Bernushka will kick off. Jones is deep for the Dallas Cowboys. And again, Bernushka with that high kick that takes a lot of time. He gets his special team downfield, and here comes Jones. And Jones bobbles the ball as he is taken at the 44, and they're going to blow it dead at the 44. Pete Shaw defensively there attacked Jones. The ball came loose, but they say he was down at the 44-yard line. And again, we'll anticipate many changes in the offensive backfield for the Dallas Cowboys. Ron Springs, number 20, and Robert Newhouse, number 44, come in as setbacks. We will also see a lot of Timmy Newsome, a rookie from Winston-Salem, number 30, and James Jones. Danny White, 13 of 20 thus far in the evening. And 1 interception, return for a touchdown. Drew Pearson in motion. Ron Springs turns the corner. Out around. And Springs out of bounds, 45-yard line. First down, Dallas at the 45 of San Diego.
Well, that kid, Jimmy Jones, the rookie from Mississippi State, with that kickoff return, did exactly what Dallas needed immediately to get him back in the contest. Brilliant run back, superb field position, and now, instantly, Dallas in San Diego territory. This game will have its ups and downs till the final whistle.
Dupre, the tight end, comes out. In comes Butch Johnson, number 86. So we basically have the 3 wide receiver offense for Dallas. Johnson, Hill, and Pearson, the receivers. Drew Pearson in motion. Danny White gets the screen off to Springs.
Good play.
And Springs just lowers his head and bowls to the 33-yard line. Another Dallas first down. Mike Fuller made the stop.
Really a terrific play. Has a one-man screen set up to the outside. You see, got big Herb Scott that comes out there. A lot of razzle-dazzle going on. Had Butch Johnson in motion, throwing back to the outside. Here's Springs to the outside. Good block by Herb Scott. Little quick screen. That's great percentage of completion. Try to get something going. What you don't want, of course, you got this kind of field position. Move it down there. Don't try to go too deep too early.
Just short of the 33-yard line. First and 10. Billy Joe Dupree comes back in. The tight end, number 89. Springs again.
Good.
And again he gets to the outside. Drew Pearson with a little peck block downfield. Age Springs to another Dallas first down. Bob Horn, 55. Ray Preston, 52. And on the stop. And Ron Springs, whom Don mentioned, did not have that kind of a year as a senior at Ohio State, but Gil Brandt the personnel man for the Cowboys, keeps track of them all, and he can tell you about Ron Springs when he was the junior college player of the year at Coffeyville, Kansas. In 1 year, he gained 1,800 yards and scored 25 touchdowns there before he went on to Ohio State.
It's amazing. 3 plays, 3 first downs.
Must have done something good at halftime.
Really?
Salvi is the tight end now, number 87.
Look at that moving pocket, would you?
Back to Salvi. The screen in front of it. Salvi to the 10-yard line, another first down.
This is a remarkable drive. 4 plays, 4 first downs. Salvi, another underused one. Well, where do you play him if you got Dupree and you're not using a steady 2 tight end offense?
Look at that Irish connection. All move out with Danny White. Set up this screen back across to Salvi. We've seen really 3 unusual plays for Dallas. They're not the old grind them out sort of run play. They said, we got to open this thing up. Maybe we can beat them at their own game. We got to throw this ball, open it up.
Salvi's closest friend on the team is the other underused one, Butch Johnson.
Danny White has now used 8 different receivers on the night. First down, close to the 10-yard line.
Oh, no!
No, they didn't plan that one. No way that was planned. As Salvi ambles to the 2-yard line, that ball just dribbled into his hands.
Don't you love
Danny
it?
White dropped it.
You will never see a single game with more plays that are unique.
The Rafferty did it earlier,
And Donovan,
and that ball could not have done it
and
anyway.
then
I'll tell you, what a great offensive coach.
You know if
That's what
somebody's
Jay
going to be at the
looks
right place at the right time is that man behind those shades.
it's unbelievable. Then you had to play from Joyner to Jefferson.
It was all slow motion for Salvi.
That's right.
Tom doesn't believe it.
Second down. Inside handoff up into the Springs at the 1.
They scored on that play earlier. This time San Diego says, I remember that. You guys did that to me the last time you were down here.
3 tight ends are in as we move to third down. The ball at the 1.
I can't believe that Salvi play. That's unreal.
I don't believe this whole game. Never have there been, at least not within my memory, so many unique plays.
Guess you weren't with us in the first half. San Diego scored on a pass that bounded off Joyner's shoulder pads into the arms of John Jefferson. He went 58 yards for a touchdown. It's been that kind of a night. Cowboys down 24-14. Third down, a little more than 1 to go. This is Newsome into the end zone, and Dallas roars right back. Jimmy Newsome, the rookie, 6th-round draft pick out of Winston-Salem. He's having himself a night. His first NFL career touchdown coming in tonight. He only carried the ball 2 times on the season for a net of 6 yards, but he's been active tonight.
We said at the beginning of the contest we thought this was about as good a matchup as you could get in the league, and that's the way it's proving out.
Rafael Septian will attempt to bring the Cowboys to within 3 points. And he promptly does so. So Dallas uses a little more than 4 minutes as they move, taking the opening kickoff here in the second half to bring it to an interesting trip, that particular drive. Jones fumbled the kickoff. They ruled he was down. The ball bounces into Salvi's hands.
Some unusual screen plays that paid off for him, too.
Septian, this time he puts a big foot into it. Muncie takes it inside the end zone. He'll bring it out. Whoa! Muncie is drilled at the 22-yard line. Jones made the stop.
Man,
You talk about clotheslining a guy. Woo.
that's why Muncie didn't return kicks down in New Orleans. He said, what was that? That's one of those,
The license number of that one.
yeah. Who was that guy? I forgot to get his name.
Fluid runner, though, for a big man. isn't he?
That James Jones had your basic fundamental football position and delivered it.
San Diego, 22-yard line. Capacity crowd. Shouting to their defense. Inside handoff, and it goes to Mike Thomas. And Mike Thomas, who was just activated last week. That's out to the 27-yard line. A gain of about 5 to the 2nd and 5. Mike Thomas had knee surgery following a racquetball injury last May.
Ran again, Frank, on first down. Made it work. Picked up 5 yards.
Rapidly moving third quarter. Cowboys using almost 5 minutes in their drive. San Diego looking over a 2nd down and 5. Motion is Capoletti and Fouts to the air. Joyner, and he cannot get to the football. He had beaten Steve Wilson on the blitz. Of course, you get man-for-man coverage, and the Cowboys were bringing everyone.
He really had beaten them, and if the pass had been right there, the masters of the quick strike, the San Diego Chargers, could have had another.
That's why you use that blitz situation, because it does cut down considerably on that quarterback's time to throw.
Now, sometimes it boomerangs and kills you.
Sometimes it does.
Third down 5. Ball near the 27-yard line of the Chargers. Chargers leading 24-21 here in the third quarter. Fouts. Almost intercepted. Charlie Waters had the ball in his arms. Says, hey, I had it. I had 6 that I couldn't hold on.
But the important thing is, on a very critical sequence of downs for San Diego, they couldn't retain the football. Look at it again, Don.
All right. No blitz that time. Fairly good pressure. The ball was thrown a little bit behind. I think it wound up in Waters' hands. He didn't expect it. Couldn't hold on. It looked to me Danny Fouts kind of left off a little bit. Did either of you see him get hit?
Partridge the punt. Jones is deep for Dallas. Does not call for the fair catch. And gets back from the 35-yard line, close to the 40-yard line, and a scuffle breaks out of midfield.
Don't worry about it. Neither man can fight.
Now, how do you know?
I watched. First guy tried to throw a left.
Charlie Waters, who came so close to getting 6 on an interception. They have time out of the field. The Cowboys have good field position at their own 4-4. 9:49 remaining here in the third quarter. San Diego unable to move the ball in their first possession. Had to punt away. Dallas has field position at their own 40. They took the ball in. Their first possession here in the second half. With that 24-21. James Jones stays at the 23 with Robert Newhouse at 44. Those are your setbacks. Anthony Dorsett committed late night to his ribs. As Newhouse hit the line of scrimmage, drilled back. We second down and 10. Defensively there for San Diego.
He's just so huge, it's unbelievable. Right now, Landry's words to Don come into play. Excuse me, he can't make mistakes. With the momentum going Dallas this way, from that point of view, turnover would be horrendous.
Anyway, the defense of the Chargers. Jones regains his feet, but down he goes, and he'll be a loss all the way back to the 38-yard line. Jones lost his footing for just a moment, and with the speed of Fred Dean, he cannot afford that for even a fraction of a second. It'll be third down and 11.
He dropped that razzle-dazzle series at the open second half with and going back up the middle and off tackle. Might look for that razzle-dazzle and come back again a little bit.
Dustin Pearson comes in, number 26, good receiver. Three wide receivers. Hill, Johnson, Pearson, and of course Billy Joe Reed, the tight end. Out of the shotgun, third down, 11. Dustin Pearson comes back in, looking for blitz. Dean. Danny White just releasing the football.
Dean's been doing a good job. That's on Donovan, who's ordinarily there. Certainly one of their top offensive linemen, and he just feeds him to the outside. You see Donovan trying to set up, push it. Dean had that strength momentum, came around. This was the one that really hurt. That helmet right in your back. You never see it coming.
Dean, so quick. He's not all that big. He can really move. Fourth down. Danny White stays in. Only his second punt of the night. Mike Fuller is from San Diego. Right around the 20-yard line. Averaging just under 11 yards per attempt. first 7 games of the season. Danny White, he's in trouble now. Danny White gets the first down.
I think they got a penalty on top of it. Yeah, he's lucky that time. That was a bad snap. Bad snap. They put pressure on the kicker, which I thought they were going to do by the way they were lining up.
Danny White stays on the turf. And now, Shaky gets to his feet, looks it over, and says, hey, did I get it? And he did get his first down, but again, a flag is down.
They've had an incredible series of breaks. Cowboys really was like almost went over his head. Look at that.
Down to the 34-yard line. Here's the call.
Late hit on the runner is down. Number 47, defense. First down.
Douglas must watch again. We told you he was a good athlete. Don, he really shows it here.
Yeah, he really did. Because I think he really thought he said better kick the ball. You look at it, almost hit him too late. Right there's the extra effort by Danny. Here's the late hit. You see coming in. Frank Duncan, number 47.
Strange happenings tonight here in Dallas. First down, 34-yard line of San Diego. Cowboys down, 24-21. Tony Hill in motion. Comes Timmy Newsom. This is the 30-yard line for a gain of 4. It's second down 6. This is big. This was rookie from Winston-Salem State. 6'1", a 227-pounder.
They take nothing away from it. They've got a lot of good young players. They're a really coached team. But the bounces the ball is taken for them tonight. And that last forced run proved out for a first down. Just miraculous.
Second and 6. Newsom again. Newsom inside the 30.
Saw that ball swing up. He had it in one hand. I thought he lost another fumble.
It'll be third down and about 4.
Good tackle there by Preston.
Dallas Cowboys, 14 consecutive winning seasons. 13 times they've been in the playoffs. They've been to 5 Super Bowls. They won in 71 after the season of 71 and after the season of 67.
By the way, did you mention that Tom Landry's the only coach they've ever had?
21 years. That's just embarrassing, man. That's so funny.
Everybody says that.
Great team. He gets back inside from San Diego. Over the middle to Tony Hill. He's on his feet, would you believe? With a 5-yard line, it'll be first and goal. And again, Tony Hill, like Charlie Pointer for the Chargers in the first half, was going to get a shot. He took the shot, and he has hurt his shoulder, I believe.
Absolutely. Beautifully thrown ball right in the middle. Right in the middle of a lot of defenders. Tony Hill somehow maintained that concentration. He and Jefferson here are very similar. Look at him go up. He maintained his balance. He hurt his arm. Got a good hit on the other side. Left on his seat. Holding.
Came out of the locker room at halftime smoking. They took the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Doing a few tricks of fate. And they're threatening once again. First and goal. 2 tight ends in now. Here comes Ron Springs. Somehow manages to get down close to the 3-yard line.
Right, somehow right. I thought that was a loss.
It was a great effort. That's an effort you don't measure by the yards gained.
Leroy Jones, 6'8". Defensive end, like I had him there with his feet. That's Tony Hill on the sidelines on the trainers.
One of those high school quarterbacks who went up to Stanford and raced all the team Washington records. You saw him able to go wide. Concentration, gives his eyes on the football, and a big catch. Danny White, what about a sneak? No extended arms by the officials, so it will be third and goal to go.
It's got to be just right on that goal.
Close to it. Maybe a foot out. Somebody just brought it right back.
Third and goal. Ball outside the 1-yard line. Great catch by Tony Hill.
They've come from a long way back, and they've made it work.
Dallas now with 14 consecutive points. This isn't that exciting.
Another old-time play out of the playbook. A little quick trap. You see that? That was Pat Donovan coming from his tackle position. Made a good block to the inside. Opened up a nice hole.
They may have found a football player. I like the way he carries the football.
It does look good.
They only carried it twice before tonight. Septian. Dallas has the lead. They were trailing 24-14 at halftime. They lead 28-24. We expect to stay with us for more action. Seesaw battle. The Dallas Cowboys trying to stay within one game of Philadelphia in the NFC Eastern Division. The San Diego Chargers trying to maintain a one-game lead over the Oakland Raiders in the AFC West. Septian hits it. Chuck Muncie at his goal line. And Muncie gets out close to the 20-yard line, and the Dallas special team closes it down right there. Dennis Thurman in there quickly for Dallas.
Frank, this telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Now, any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the National Football League is prohibited.
Superbly rendered. Thank you. Tony Hill has a bruised shoulder. We are told he will be back.
First and 10. That's Capoletti in motion. Quickly, pass goes to Muncie, who one-hands it and was not even looking at the ball. He runs into Bob Bruning, loss of the play of a couple.
That's reading those keys, coming from middle linebacker position. Look at 53, Bruning. Looks the guard, set for a quick block. His man's Muncie. And that is a rather spectacular catch. He does have those big hands you were talking about. He carries that ball that one hand a lot. Made a good grab there. Bruning, good defensive play. Read his assignments, moved out the flat, covered that back.
San Diego faces a crisis right now. They haven't shown the ability to defend Dallas, and they've got to start moving the football.
On second down and 12, and the ball is fumbled, and Dallas is all over it. Couple of Cowboys. Pinkscale is there for one. And coming up with it, however,
I think that's Anthony, isn't it?
Anthony Dickerson, the rookie from SMU.
SMU, right. They played Texas yesterday.
There's a free agent who was out of football a year ago. Let's look again. They expect great things from Dickerson in the future.
That big Randy White, number 54, you see he's got his hand in there, stripped from the ball, and Anthony Dickerson playing heads up.
Randy White did that to Jaworski last week.
Yeah, oh, he's something else. Randy White is one of a kind there in the middle.
You talk about a quick turn of events. What a turnabout. This is 180.
First and 10, Dallas, 20-yard line. This quarter, 17 plays, 9 first downs in just 2 possessions, and they have come up with 14 quick points. Here is Jones. Jones to the 16-yard line, hit there by Bob Horn. Fans 3, it'll be second and 7.
I'm sorry, Frank. The point I wanted to make is you fans are seeing a whole set of new faces out there. And as I've noted earlier, they're sustaining the excellence of the Cowboys through all the past years. That, my friends, is organization.
Little Jones hit the ball. He hit that hole in a hurry there.
That's right. He exploded through it.
Good, tough run.
That's Bill Brandt and Tom Landry.
Second down, 7. Handoff. Jones. Chargers. Woody Lowe trying to pull the ball away from Jones. He holds on. Gets down to the 12-yard line. It'll be third down and 3.
Not only does that kid look good, I agree with Frank. Newsom looks so strong.
Short yardage offense checks in now for the Cowboys. That means another tight end in the form of Jay Saldy. As a matter of fact, 3 of them now. Billy Joe Dupree, Saldy, Cosby. The 3 tight ends. Danny White taking an awful long time to call this play. He's going to have to hurry to get it off, or he's going to be nailed at 5 yards. He has 3 seconds. And he gets it off. And his receiver was knocked off his feet. He finds Saldy.
Always that guy.
Saldy is going to go in. Would you believe this?
No, I don't.
1 second on the 30-second clock. and his key receiver knocked to the ground for Danny White. He finds Saldi. Saldi crosses the field, touchdown. We've seen everything tonight.
And look at Butch Johnson. He and Saldi, as I told you, are best friends. Each complains to the other. We're not getting playing time. And each proving himself tonight.
Obviously, this was not intended to go to Jay Saldi. Good pressure right here on the outside by Jones. Just looks back and here's Saldi. Now, this is a good run. Saldi picks his blockers real well, goes to the outside. The guys responded to that, came back, made some good blocks. Is he happy?
Septian, his leg, getting a workout here in the third quarter. Cowboys bring up their 21st unanswered point by San Diego, and there's still 2:37 remaining here in the third quarter. Dallas 35, the Chargers 24. We'll be back. Saldi scores from 12 yards out, but the 12 yards does not tell the story. He must have covered 35 or 40.
It was not a planned play. Wild game.
Really is a wild game.
Unbelievable turn of events here.
59 points.
The Cowboys had 20 plays already here in the third quarter. 10 first downs, 3 touchdowns. You were with us last week. Pittsburgh, Oakland, 79 points scored in that one. We have 59 up on the scoreboard already. 2:37 remaining here in the third quarter. Septian. Little kickoff for Dallas. Chuck Muncie standing near the goal line for San Diego. Up it goes. This will be Mike Fuller. The flag goes down as Fuller falls forward to the 22-yard line. And from the gesticulation of one of the Chargers, it would appear that it's going to go against San Diego.
Flip. They can't get themselves arrested.
They sure have a tough time getting untracked here in the second half.
Coryell doesn't believe all this. And he remembers the last sequence of downs.
Personal foul, blocking below the waist on the return, number 57 on the receiving team. First down.
And, of course, one of the new rules put in a couple of years ago, an attempt to cut down on the injuries that take place on the special teams. San Diego, 1st and 10, their own 12-yard line. Bounce. Fires. No, incomplete, out of bounds. Charlie Joyner.
What a great catch.
Oh, wasn't it?
Oh, what a beautiful catch.
They just can't get a single break. It's incredible.
Look at the man catch the ball. This is one of those quick. He's got him playing up close. Aaron Mitchell's right there. And, is that pretty good defensive coverage? It's not bad. One-handed. Look at that. Look at the concentration.
He's been doing that for 12 years.
In, the other foot out.
Now, that's a nice. Oh.
Got 10 against the Giants last week for 171 yards. His best day in 12 years. 2nd down 10. Ball at the 12. Bounce. Oh, and almost picked off. Steve Wilson, who picked off one earlier, says, I could have had 6.
Now that was a terrible throw. Dan Fouts and the Chargers, judging by this play, are now feeling snake bit.
Well, he had some time to throw it. To see
and
a little
he
bit
had men free.
I think, he's got 2 receivers awfully close together, and he threw right in the middle of them. So he hit Wilson. I said, he couldn't believe this ball came that directly to it.
Notice this time they didn't waste time with the running play. Last time they had the fumble on the 2nd consecutive running play.
Dallas quickly moves into their pass prevent defense. Bounce on 3rd down and hangs it up for Jefferson. Yes, he catches the ball and goes out of bounds for a 1st down at the 35-yard line. Had Fouts led him, it would have been 6.
Man alive. Now, how in the world did he get that? I didn't see him make his move.
I don't know how he got that free.
He ran a square out, and then he knew he was covered.
Went up.
And he turned it up, and Fouts read it quickly, got the ball to him.
Well, he got it right before Randy White hit him, and you're right, he hurt himself on that play.
Boy, that's some catch.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, had the ball been well thrown, it was touchdown.
1st First down inside the 36-yard line of the Chargers. Draw play. Muncie. Harvey Martin corrals it at the line of scrimmage, and the sprawl forward for a gain of about a yard. It'll be second down and 9. And again, Harvey Martin has not been heard from too much tonight. Credit Billy Shields, number 66, the offensive left tackle.
Not a stupid call, Frank. You don't have to panic. You got a minute 15 left to the third quarter. You got all the fourth quarter. You've got the great striking ability. And Muncie, on a delayed draw like that, can pick off 15, 20, 30 yards for you. It's not a stupid call. It didn't work.
Second down 9. And quickly, Faust dumps it off to Muncie. And Muncie leaves the ball. Take advantage of it.
Again,
Like Clinkscale. Dexter Clinkscale, the rookie from South Carolina State who works on the pass-driven defense, gets the football for Dallas at the 43-yard line.
Still don't like the way he holds the football. And this is the second critical fumble he's made as a member of the Chargers. The other one was on a kickoff reception against Oakland. Look at the way he's holding that ball.
He just reached right in, and that was Aaron Mitchell that stuck his hand in there and knocked the ball away. Really has been a crazy turn of events, hasn't it?
Ball bounces in funny ways, and it's bounced another peculiar way. Dallas has great field position. John Jefferson, whom a few moments ago you saw make a spectacular catch, sprawled forward, fell on his left elbow. He's being treated on the sidelines. We'll try and get further information, but he obviously is in some sort of pain. Receivers have a thing called a synovial sac. Well, we all have one, but sometimes you can rupture very easily with that kind of a fall. On 1st and 10, inside handoff, Newsom gets out over the 45 for a gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7. Fred Dean defensively there for the Chargers.
On that last Muncie fumble, Don, he seemed to be trying to transfer the ball from his left hand to his right hand at the very moment Mitchell hit him.
That's what it appeared to me, too. And Mitchell just had his hand in the right place, knocked it loose.
There's Jefferson again on the sidelines, obviously in pain. Cowboys, 21 unanswered points here in the third quarter. Second down, 7. Jones turns it inside, runs into a crowd, gets about a yard of it. It'll be third down and 5.
Dallas is facing a frustrated, angry team right now. Bruised elbow on Jefferson, we're told.
And now the special units, and Cowboys have one for just about every situation.
Well, they do, don't they?
They truck out 3 wide receivers.
What they do is they drop the ball, let it bounce. It takes a bounce either to Donovan, Rafferty, or Saldi, and it works. It's a new style offense.
And Clinkscale, don't forget him.
Third and 5, an important defensive play for the Chargers. White settles into the shotgun. And the Chargers rise to the occasion. Fred Dean is there. And Leroy Jones sacked all the way back to the 40-yard line. It'll be fourth down, and Dallas will have to punt.
Good defensive coverage in the secondary. Didn't have anybody open. Then he tried to moved up tentatively, and
told you they're facing a frustrated, angry team now.
And the final second ticks off the scoreboard clock, and that is the end of the third quarter. Chargers trailing the Cowboys now 35-24. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in a moment. Mike Fuller has settled in for the Chargers, back close to his 15-yard line, awaiting the punt of Danny White as we begin action here in the fourth quarter. Keep in mind, the Cowboys were trailing 24-14 at halftime. They now lead 35-24. Danny White to punt. And Danny hits a beauty. And puts it out of bounds. Well, did he? It did it.
I think it's
bounded right along the sidelines. It looked like it was going out about the 5-yard line.
It would have been the last draw if it went out at the 1. It almost looked like it'd go out there.
I think they're still trying to decide if it did.
I thought it did go out of bounds, but now they take it out to the 20. 58-yard punt. Al Stringer, defensive back.
He says, man.
Oh, we need the fife and drums.
He's had enough.
Tough day at the office.
24. John Jefferson back in the lineup, stood out to the right. Fouts going to Winslow. Winslow catches it.
I don't believe it.
And then he fumbles it.
Of course.
And there's a scramble, and Dennis Thurman has it.
I don't believe this game. You're all watching it. How can you?
Winslow with a spectacular catch, fighting with Aaron Mitchell for the football. He dropped it, and Dennis Thurman out-wrestled Charlie Joyner and came up with it.
You talk about frustration. It was a brilliant throw. There you see Winslow with the kind of deep threat speed Frank referred to earlier in the game. And then the fumble. San Diego was poised, ready with the quick strike again, right back in the ball game, but no.
Aaron Mitchell calls another fumble, and that's Dennis Thurman who picked that ball up and took it back again. I can't believe it.
There's Dennis Thurman. He replaced the great All-Pro Cliff Harris, who retired. Dallas completely reshuffling that secondary, and Dennis Thurman comes up with the fumble. And San Diego must be wondering what can happen next.
And they said, boy, that get me back close to La Jolla.
On 1st and 10, Jimmy Newsome, right side, gets out to the 35-yard line. Gain of 6, it'll be 2nd down and 4. And let's take a look at the third quarter stats.
You'll see from these stats how completely, look at the way they've turned Dallas's way. Time of possession, the most critically revealing element here. Dallas totally dominant in the third quarter, 21 unanswered points. And after this last play,
I wonder how many turnovers they're going to call that. That's several turnovers there.
Wild offensive show. Fouts has gone over 300 yards for the 4th time this season, but his team is down by 11 points. 2nd and 4. Jones, big opening 1st down, and a flag goes down also.
Yeah, hit right on the back of a couple of those linemen up there, and Jones seems to be hurt.
Jones, I think, is probably has cramps in his calves. I mean, you usually see a ball player do that. Stretch his toes up, trying to get rid of them.
that Dean is negated, of course. The ball taken way back.
Holding call against the Cowboys.
Well, it's been a good move by Jones, though. That again, that quick acceleration. We haven't seen these guys play that much. No one has. They haven't been around very long.
Well, there's a fellow walking the Dallas Cowboys sideline who's the guy responsible for finding these people. And Dallas didn't even have a first-round draft choice this year.
Quite an organization. You speaking, I know, of Gil Brandt. Let's go to Tex Schramm, who's been here from the very beginning, as has Tom Landry. They didn't have a winning season until their 7th year. They have not had a losing one since. 2nd and 15. Springs on a one-man screen. Springs back close to the original line of scrimmage, where it'll be 3rd down and 10.
Oh, you gotta like that kid.
Really impressed with Springs, Jones, and this Newsome. Yeah, Newhouse has not played much this year because Springs has been that fullback.
Well, right there, you're looking at 61, a young man named Cooper out of Temple University. He's 4th-year man, and now he grades out as high as any man in that offensive line.
3rd down, 10. Preston Pearson in. White, 210 yards on the night. Fouts, 342. Fouts, a lot of time. Drew Pearson wide open, and he one-hops it incomplete. The Cowboys will punt.
That's like the line.
Danny White.
Frank, that was like the line drive to Jim Leonard of the Houston Astros that he trapped.
Well, not exactly, but it was reminiscent of something similar.
4th down coming up. Danny White settles back for the punt. Mike Fuller drops for San Diego.
I meant Jeff Leonard, not Jim. Quick correction.
Wild night here in Dallas. Decides not to run this one, and puts it out at the 33-yard line, taken there by Mike Fuller.
Here we go again, Giff. 13:27 left.
And San Diego will have good field position at their own 33-yard line. We'll be right back in Dallas in a moment. Don't go away, because if anyone can do it, this man can. Dan Fouts, who has been a little erratic. But you cannot question the great pass he threw to Kellen Winslow a while ago that would have put them right back into this ball game that, of course, was fumbled. 1st and 10. San Diego has the ball, their own 33-yard line. Fouts knuckles one. Boy, B.D. Lewis was picking up Charlie Joyner, and Fouts is slow getting up.
Too tall was there.
I thought that ball was deflected.
I think it was. I think Ed Jones came in from his defensive end position. Fouts had a good quick drop looking away, but there's Jones.
Sure it was.
Jones is like a large condominium coming in on the quarterback.
What floor?
6'9", 260. 2nd and 10. Jefferson in motion.
Good.
Muncie.
Good.
Muncie gets around the corner, gets to midfield. 1st down, San Diego. Taken out of bounds by Dennis Thurman, who's giving away about 60 pounds when he takes on Muncie.
Intelligent call.
That was really set up well. He had good interference out in front of him and made a good cut to the outside. Had a lot of running room out there. Denver, I'm crazy about you too.
They don't spell very well.
I don't either.
Out to the right goes Jefferson. Muncie in motion. And the white hats of the officials were thrown because forced out of bounds was Charlie Joyner. He cannot come back on the field to play. And Dan Fouts is saying, hey, they can't do that to my man. Fouts is complaining they hit Joyner after he had gone more than 5 yards downfield. 2nd and 10. Ron Smith, number 84, checks in for the San Diego Chargers. He was acquired from the Rams just after the season began. Mike Thomas also in there on what could be turned a sure pass situation for San Diego. Fouts going for Ron Smith. And Ron Smith and Dennis Thurman both went up incomplete.
I tell you, that's one of those that you've seen a lot of times where Thurman thinks he's got an interception, and that receiver makes a little bit better effort and catches the ball.
What's this?
Could have been another touchdown.
I tell you, it was another remarkable throw.
Thurman's sitting there waiting for the interception. Smith almost cut right in front of him and picked it off.
3rd down 10. 13:06 remaining in this game. Dennis Thurman, 5'11", 170-pounder. Will be an enviable position in replacing Cliff Harris, the all-pro free safety retired this year for Dallas. Fouts, Jefferson, 1st down, 33-yard line of the Cowboys, and a flag goes down. There was a late hit.
Jefferson ran a pretty route, didn't he, Frank? Coming in there to the inside, the ball was right on the money.
He makes that cut, and he is just parallel with the ground.
Yeah, sometimes, Don, they do it so well, you wonder why they don't do it on every down. They make it look so simple.
Ooh, they're backing the Chargers up.
They sure are.
I don't believe it.
Personal foul, and there was again an offensive face mask that was indicated by our official tonight, Dick Jorgensen.
Holding, number 67, offense, personal foul, 5-yard face mask, defense, penalties all set, still 3rd down.
Well, now Dick cleared it up for us. There was a holding against Ed White, and there was a face mask call against Dallas, offsetting penalties. Down remains the same, 3rd and 10, ball at midfield.
That's the 4th penalty on Ed White. And San Diego must be ready to go to the cleaners.
A lot of time, and he overthrows and is picked off. Kenny Barnes. And Barnes bristles his way to the 45-yard line.
Fouts came up and made the tackle. Made a shot at it.
5th turnover now for San Diego.
That one was not a good throw. That one went over. Benny Barnes, you may remember, right before our opening game against Washington, was hospitalized that night for an appendectomy. He's just coming back. He said, if anything, it might have been a blessing in disguise because my foot's been able to rest. He's had feet problem down here, had those operated. That was right in his hands.
This one Fouts would like to have back. He tried to force that. Good coverage.
You see Fouts make the tackle. That's a pretty good effort by that quarterback out there.
Dallas has the ball near the 45-yard line of San Diego. And they might start to work on the clock. Pearson in motion. Nope, White will put it up, and he will actually be put on the ground by Leroy Jones, who read it all. 5th sack of the night. NCAA college football coming your way this Saturday, beginning live at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. It'll feature South Carolina, Georgia, which will be either a national or a regional telecast. We'll see two of the premier running backs in college football, George Rogers of South Carolina and Herschel Walker, the phenomenal freshman from Georgia.
Herschel's on his way to a 1,000-yard season. Tremendous player. Rogers is cutting the mold of Earl Campbell, Heisman Trophy candidate.
That one, of course, followed by more regional games. Here's James Jones turning the corner, and Jones falls forward.
He looks good.
Picking up a Dallas first down inside the 45-yard line. Willie Buchanan made the stop defensively for the San Diego Chargers.
Georgia team under Vince Dooley is one of the 6 remaining undefeated teams in NCAA football after, Texas was there this past week.
Had to get that in again, didn't you, about SMU over Texas?
Just thought I'd mention it.
Young quarterback named McElhenny.
I said that was first down. Actually, with the loss, it was 3rd down and 9. White. He caught somehow or other. Drew Pearson comes up with it at the 31-yard line.
Got it. Had interception written on it from up this point of view. But you got Butch Johnson on the bottom of your screen. Drew Pearson going to the outside.
Got to give this Dallas team, this whole organization, a great deal of credit. They could have folded, as you look at that picture of Drew Pearson. They could have folded after the first half. They came out loaded for the second half. They have played brilliantly. They've been opportunistic. They've gotten breaks, yes, but they've capitalized.
Pearson's first catch of the night, oddly enough. 1st and 10 Dallas. Pearson in motion. White plunges back to the left. And the isolated receiver throws it to Billy Joe Dupree in and out of the end zone.
Danny said, what do I do, man? I've got too much trouble back here. He didn't want to wait that long to throw the ball.
Got to remember 2 key plays in this game by Danny White. 4th down punting situations. Danny running for the first down.
So many of those, as you say, key situations in a game like this, and a lot of them have been mistakes. You don't like to see it. That punt that you're referring to, I like that. I think that's really, at that stage of the game, with the distance he had to go, I think it was a good call.
John Cappelletti looking on from the San Diego Charger bench. Came to the Chargers this past year from the Rams, of course. 2nd down 10. Draw play, Newhouse. And Bobby Newhouse powers to the 15-yard line. And the crowd loves this man.
You bet they do.
He's given his body over 9 years. Always dependable, always there.
There he goes off. That's terrific. Little draw play. Fake pass, little opening to the inside, and here comes Bobby.
He wouldn't go down.
No, sir. Ran right into Mike Fuller, 42. Kept going. Picked him up for first down.
Looked like Nottingham.
I knew you were going to get that in.
1st and 10. Jones hit by Bob Horn, gets down close to the 10-yard line. A gain of about 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. And if you're wondering about this game going a little late for you in the Eastern time zone, or for that matter anywhere, these 2 quarterbacks, well, White has thrown the ball 29 times tonight. Fouts has thrown it 35 times. And of course, the clock is stopped with each incompletion or a receiver stepping out of bounds. And of course, we've had a veritable plethora of penalties.
I love it.
That's going back to the 2nd year.
Oh, well, you can use it.
That's right.
Statute of limitations has not run out. 2nd and 6. A whole bunch of fancy plays end up with Tony Hill in the football and a gain of a couple. Danny White to James Jones to Tony Hill. Gain of a couple, and we're going to pause 5 seconds and let our stations along the line identify themselves.
KIVI, Nampa, Boise, Caldwell.
Texas Stadium, and we have seen the fireworks tonight. Some of the strange happenings that we have seen in 10 years of covering ABC's Monday, Thursday, and Sunday night football. Third down, 4. Ball resting at the 9-yard line. Still 9:49 remaining to be played. Free, and here how he held on, bouncing off Mike Fuller, I'll never know.
Now that's the size that there's no substitute for that size and strength. Billy Joe Dupree. He had some time to throw this ball too.
Boy, he put it in there.
Yep, he drilled it right in the old numbers.
What you have to remember is San Diego led this game at halftime 24-14.
And almost led it 31.
That's correct.
Rafael Septian.
This will make it 28 unanswered points in the second half for the Cowboys. Remarkable.
Septian through the uprights. And the Cowboys roll on 42-24 over the Chargers. We'll be back with more.
That is unreal.
That was none of the fight.
I have never seen that one before. That is a real one, isn't it?
Hey, they get into Little League early down here. Septian will kick off. Chuck Muncie is back.
That's pretty good, Frank.
Muncie at the 2-yard line.
That's our guy.
Wobbles and stays in there.
I'm telling you.
Muncie dropped one against the Oakland Raiders a couple of weeks ago. The Raiders got on top of it for 6 points.
I'll tell you, this defeat, and that's what it's now clearly going to be, has to be devastating for the Chargers. A great football team. Somehow, they're 18 points behind, and they can't quite recollect how it happened. There has been such a weird flow of events, and they must begin to doubt themselves.
Chuck Muncie behind Big Ed White. Still on his feet, moving down the sidelines, finally taken out of bounds, out at the 32-yard line, picking up the first down and doing so.
Frank, they must begin to doubt themselves because add this loss to the one they suffered at the hands of a resurgent Oakland team. What was it, 38-24?
They were thrashed there, there's no question.
And Dallas has done this without Tony Dorsett, and in the process discovered Jimmy Jones and Timmy Newsom.
Winslow, the big tight end in motion. Bounce. Ed Jones sacks Fouts at the 20-yard line. A lot of time he just couldn't find the receiver, and then he could not see over Big Ed Jones.
Larry Cole was the guy that really forced him in the direction of Ed Jones. He was trying to get away from Larry Cole, and all of a sudden there was Ed Jones. The guy that really set it up, you'll see right here, is watch Randy White, number 54. They're doing a crisscross in there. Randy knocks out that guy. Here comes Larry Cole to make him jump, and there's Big Ed Jones on the other side. They had some help from everybody there that time.
Jefferson is on the bench for the Chargers. He is still having that elbow worked on. There was a loss of 11. It's second down, 21. Picked off. Wilson with his second interception of the night. Steps out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
That ball was deflected, wasn't it, Don?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. It was certainly not very well thrown.
Third interception of Dan Fouts tonight.
Total breakdown.
Well, you know, they live, as they say, you live by the pass, you're going to go away by the pass. Let's see if it was. I didn't see that it was deflected, but it certainly could have been. No, it seems to be a fairly good ball. I just think he just underthrew it a little bit. And there was Steve Wilson. And very wisely says, I've done my job here. Out of bounds.
Ball at the 27-yard line of the Chargers. Turning back to the inside is Robert Newhouse, and Robert Newhouse is taken there at the line of scrimmage. Moves forward for a couple of yards. It'll be second down and 8. Lyndon King was there first, brother Charlie DeJournay.
Don Coryell has said something has gone wrong. What in the world has happened?
Well, we've had, let's see, we've got now 66
That's the answer
points.
right there.
Look at those turnovers.
6 turnovers
for
to
San
2.
Diego, which is a good part of the answer, but not all of it in the case of this game.
Not really, because San Diego really hasn't established a good offensive drive against Dallas.
Second and 8. Jones. Jones is piled up, getting down to the 22-yard line for a gain of a couple. It'll be third down and 4. Bob Horn on the stop, and there is the elbow we spoke of. And
he's still in
Jefferson
pain.
really was been in pain.
He still is.
He was a hometown boy here from Dallas. Had a lot of family and friends out here at the ball game tonight.
You go Roosevelt High School.
Yep. No longer is a Roosevelt High School. In the days of Bobby Hayes, that was John's guy. He wanted to be like Bobby Hayes. Transistor radio there.
Got a good local rock station on.
Yeah, that's it.
Third and 4 out of the shotgun. And I believe the Cowboys might have used a little too much time. Leroy Jones was going to make sure the White stayed there. Having a word with Danny White. Well, this is when it gets kind of fun, and you also get a little cocky about this time. You're sitting up there leading 42-24.
Yeah, I don't think Denny would have thrown that ball at Jones in the first quarter. No.
Jones might have shoved it down his throat.
I don't think he'd have done that then. Denny's had a good night. He's 20 for 30 for 233 yards, 3 TDs.
San Diego's been embarrassed. Their tempers are frayed.
Yep.
Penalty delay of game. The ball is now at the 27-yard line of the Chargers. 7:27 remaining in the game. Once again in the shotgun. Teams have only met once before. That was several years ago. White. And I think that pass was actually not intended for Preston Pearson, but rather Drew Pearson, and Preston Pearson got into the pattern.
Could have been. That was deflected by Woodrow Lowe.
Well,
Seption on for the field goal.
San Diego has no one to blame but itself. All the turnovers, all the mistakes.
Yeah, but they happened in a strange way. Winslow dropping the ball after a great catch. 45-yard attempt for Seption. Needs legs. Short, hitting the crossbar. So Seption misses from 45 yards out. San Diego will have the football. They'll have it at their own 27-yard line when we come back. Texas Stadium has been a lot of fun for the Cowboys here in the second half. They've rolled for 28 points. Unanswered points, I might add. San Diego has the ball. First and 10. Down 42-24. Bounce immediately to the air. Well, it was close to a trap.
Really was, and even that pass was deflected, Frank.
And they'll bring it back incomplete.
Yep.
An indication of the time of the game it is. Everybody's getting a little bit tired. You guys got a good game lined up tomorrow in Shea Stadium. That's going to be a good one. What do you think?
This one's ever over.
I think Miami has now become an interesting team with young Woodley at quarterback, and they're in an interesting position because of the Bills' upset of the Pats today. And watching what's happened in the second half here tonight, you can't tell about this league anymore.
Second down 10.
I don't know what that was. Did his arm get hit again? Had to be. If it was.
Well, Charlie Waters was standing right in front of his intended receiver. If it could have been, he just decided to put it in the ground.
That's Bruce Thornton, number 77. Some kind of some fresh legs that they've got in there rushing that passer. These guys have been doing this all night long. How many passes has Fouts thrown? 30-something or close to 40 passes?
38.
38. There you go. 38 attempts.
Get some fresh people in there for the Cowboys. Thornton, number 77, came up last year as an 8th-round draft pick. He was a surprise, turned into a super pass rusher while Ed Jones was trying to make a boxing career for himself. 3rd and 10. Fouts hangs one up. Has a man open.
Intercepted. I cannot believe that.
Oh, and picked off by Dennis Thurman.
Is that wild? What a heck of a punt, though. You can't get a guy to punt that far. But Dallas does have the ball.
4th interception of Fouts tonight.
This is the tail end of it. He had gotten a little bit behind Charlie Waters. That's John Floyd. Tips the ball right in his hands, and that's what that Dennis Thurman's supposed to do from that free safety. He says, I'm going to cover deep. Balls
Couldn't work the tip drill any better.
That reminds me of the beach catch, you see. Out of the catcher's mitt into the other one, and there we've got it.
It's unbelievable. This game is crazy.
And there's 6:57 remaining on the clock.
At this point in time, I hope they keep the ball on the ground, gentlemen.
Why? You got a plane to catch?
Yes.
You're going to New York, huh?
Cowboys at their own 12-yard line. Timmy Newsom, 30, the rookie from Winston-Salem State. James Jones, number 23, the rookie from Mississippi State. Those are the setbacks, but we get the reverse to Billy Joe Dupree.
Oh, Billy Joe.
Tripped up Billy Joe by Fred Dean, who sprinted into the Cowboys' backfield.
Actually, a pretty good play by Dean that time because he was set up and he gotten around Dean.
Let me tell you, Dean has played a remarkable game and deserved a better individual fate.
But he hurt his elbow that time because he one-armed him. He tripped him up with that one arm sticking out there. Billy Joe kind of clipped him.
Dean, of course, missed the first couple of games of the season in a contract dispute. He came back and has played the great football that he played for the last few years with San Diego. 2nd down and 10 now. Billy Joe able to get back to the line of scrimmage on that reverse. Jones. And Jones gets out to the 15-yard line, somehow eluding the grasp of Leroy Jones.
Well, they did a little better this week, didn't they? On the ground, Dallas.
That Eagle game, that Eagle defense, they play. I think the Eagles play the Cowboys, I think, the last game of the year. And it might come down to that. Those teams are really very evenly matched, but that was a good game they had.
Oh, Dallas should be in the playoffs under any circumstances as a wild card.
Well,
there's a gain of 3. It's 3rd down 7 for Danny White. It drops into the shotgun. Preston Pearson comes in. Gifted receiver, number 26. And again, Dallas uses up the 30 seconds, and we'll have a delay of game penalty, 5 yards against Dallas.
Well, they're just taking this. Can't lose your concentration, guys.
Delay. Offense. Still 3rd down.
Ball marked back to the 10-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 13.
Fouts is, I said earlier, an angry man and a frustrated man. And I think his face shows it.
Fouts has 4 interceptions on the night. His worst effort in that department was a year ago, and it came against Houston in the playoffs. He had 5. 3rd and 13. White screen from his own end zone. Springs. Another Preston Pearson in there. And Pearson out for the 1st down.
If you can make a 1st down or a 3rd down play at 12 to go sitting on your own 10.
Excellent blocking here, Dandy. Excellent.
Good play in there, but all the guys are out in front. Rafferty, Fitzgerald.
Look at 62.
That's Herb Scott, 68, was out there.
Fitzgerald, 62 with the key block.
That's picture perfect.
Oh, Preston. He does have a way just ambling around picking up those 1st downs, doesn't he?
Preston Pearson in his 14th year. Started in Baltimore, went to Pittsburgh for 5 years. Been here for 5 years.
Hampered by injuries early, too, Frank. He's been on and off the injured reserve list.
Jones. Jones out over the 25 to the 22-yard line. As Dallas settles in, I think, now to work on the clock, which indicates 4:15 and moving.
As it's turned out, what a great opportunity for a guy like Jones to have this game experience
against a top team.
Absolutely. So they've done a lot of things tonight as far as getting that experience, getting the guy. They got Newsom has not played, as Frank's pointed out. He's not carried the ball much, but he's had a chance to run these guys in tonight. And Tony Dorsett's got another week to rest those ribs, and they can be very, very tender.
Dallas now with 28 first downs, their best effort in their history, 32 against Green Bay a couple of years ago. 2nd down and 7. Jones. You know, you can almost see a youngster when he comes into this league. He was so tentative. We saw him against Washington, and now you watch Jones run. He runs like he knows where he's going.
He runs like he's going from Starkville to Oxford, Mississippi.
He'll make a better player out of Dorsett.
Yeah, I think one of the main reasons why that happens is really that they come from different colleges around, and they just want to make the team any way they can. When they say, okay, I've got the team made, now they start learning the system, they're learning the plays, and they do run with more confidence. They've got their mind on other things.
3rd down 4, ball at the Cowboys' 30-yard line. 3 minutes remaining in the game. Danny White hangs it up, intended there for Newsom. Newsom, however, well covered by Bob Horn, the middle linebacker, and Jim Laslovic, former great at the Detroit Lions, and of course Penn State, who's now in there defensively for the Chargers. A lot of Charger fans showed up here in Dallas tonight.
First half, we saw Charger power. The second half, we saw it lassoed.
That's really unusual. They did not score a single point.
4th down. Danny White to punt. Mike Fuller is dropped to his 30-yard line. Ooh, and Danny White almost had that block. And obviously, Cliff Thrift did not get a hand on the football because he ran into Danny White, and the Cowboys will maintain possession on the running into the kicker. If you hit the ball with your hand, you can destroy the punter.
Wait a minute. This call.
I called personal foul running into the kicker. I then learned that he was pushed into the kicker. No foul.
I told you.
That's good. Well, they're out there talking to one another.
Let's see what he's talking about. Running into the kicker, pushed into the kicker.
Well, the only thing you think is Brunig.
Cliff Thrift. Yep.
It is Brunig.
He was pushed in.
Good work by Dick Jorgensen and his men tonight. They're going to be exhausted. They've been running all over this field. A lot of big plays. San Diego, 1st and 10. The ball at their own 45-yard, rather, Dallas's 45-yard line. 2:49 remaining. About all you can say is it's time for Fouts to go to work on the individual stats.
You think he's going to throw?
Kind of a fire drill going out there right now. Whoops. That was Bruce Thornton.
Man, he is quick. He's got a little more quickness, I think, than maybe Jones on that side. Not nearly as big, tall, maybe not as strong. But he said, hey, did you see that, man? I made a move to the inside and the outside and cut him down.
He left Dan Audick blocking air over there, and Audick has done a pretty good job on Jones tonight. Thornton younger, quicker perhaps than Jones, and Jones really tougher against the run than he is the pass.
Yeah. Bruce is only 6'5", you see. He's just a small kid out there.
2nd down, 16. Mike Thomas. Ooh, and Thomas in a wild collision at the 35-yard line. Goes to a 1st down. Larry Bethea defensively now for Dallas in their number 76. And the Cowboy stays on the carpet.
That time they caught Bruce Thornton. And Doug Wilkerson, I believe he was, number 63. Looks like Charlie Waters.
Charlie Waters.
That could be a lot of problems. He's had hurts from top to bottom. Knees, shoulders.
Hand on the knee. The right knee, the right thigh. The left knee, the left thigh.
Marvin Knight with a hat. Been the team doctor since day 1. Don Cochran, the trainer. Pat Evans, another doctor.
Charlie Waters, of course, a year ago had ligament surgery, actually before the start of the '79 season. Missed the entire season.
Well, there's a graphic of the best teams of the 70s in total won and lost records. Dallas tops. Miami, whom we'll have tomorrow night, second. Oakland, third. Of course, no team has compiled a Monday night record of the Oakland Raiders.
Potter's up on his feet. Appears to be all right. That's good to see.
He's worked awfully hard to come back. I know his off-season conditioning. Charlie's the kind of guy, he's just put an awful lot of time trying to get himself physically ready to play again.
On 1st and 10, Mike Thomas was able to pick up the first down. Quickly, the ball goes out to Thomas once again. And Thomas taken out of bounds there at the 25-yard line by Anthony Dickerson, the rookie from SMU. Stopping the clock with 2:04.
Waters, by the way, reestablished himself immediately. The first game of the year. You remember his interception on an apparent touchdown pass by Theismann, Don?
Yes, sir. In the end zone, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Great pickoff.
Second down, less than a yard. The ball at the 25-yard line. Still hard to believe that Dallas was down 24-14 at halftime. They now lead, of course, 42-24. And Harvey Martin whistled around his blocker, Billy Shields. Gets the sack. And we get the 2-minute warning. 42-24 with 2 minutes remaining in the game. We'll be right back. 73 combined attempts tonight by Danny White and Dan Fouts. 351 yards, 15th game that Fouts has gone over 300 yards. Of course, he set an NFL record a year ago, going for 300 yards in 4 consecutive games. I might add, he won 2 of those and lost 2. Meanwhile, the Chargers have the football. The ball at the 25-yard line, inches short of a first down. Third down.
That picture you saw is an indication to this ball game. That's John Jefferson sitting on the bench with an injured elbow. Offsides, you say, huh?
Long count by Fouts. He's been going on quick counts most of the night. Bruce Thornton jumped off sides along with Harvey Martin. Next Sunday, by the way, San Diego will be at Cincinnati. And next week, the Cowboys will be at St. Louis.
Hey, those Cardinals are tough. I'll tell you, they got a good football team.
They surprised today with an upset of Baltimore.
And they have 12 sacks against Burt Jones.
That's really tough. Yeah, the Cardinals beat
Coachment, number 79, defense, first down.
Burt will have a few ice bags on the body tonight. First down, San Diego, 20-yard line for the Dallas Cowboys. Ron Smith, of course, playing for John Jefferson. He's up at the top of your screen, number 84. Fouts drills it in, complete, goes to Mike Thomas. Thomas is down just about the 3-yard line. Mike Thomas, who had those great years with the Washington Redskins, coming up as a 5th-round draft pick.
Since Thurman that comes in from his safety to get this, a good, well-thrown ball. Thomas comes in. That's Thurman. Just looks like got his head in the way, as a matter of fact, knocked him out. Mike Thomas.
San Diego timeout. They have 2 remaining. Fouts is over talking with head coach Don Coryell.
Well, don't forget this Friday night, ABC Sports presents a big night of boxing, the WBC World Heavyweight Championship. Larry Holmes against Muhammad Ali, plus live from Scotland, Glasgow, Jim Watt against Sean O'Grady for the WBC World Lightweight Championship. You'll see for yourselves. Ali, judge's condition. You've read all the stories. The whole world's still in doubt. And you'll hear personally from Muhammad Ali and from Larry Holmes. And the time has come, the walrus said, to speak of many things. In this case, of cabbages and kings.
Who's the walrus?
I'm going to watch it.
You're not going to Scotland, all right? Don't tell me that.
No.
First and goal for San Diego. Flip up in the corner. Incomplete. Steve Wilson defending there. Working against John Floyd. John Floyd, a second-year youngster out of Northeast Louisiana. Missed most of last year with a few problems.
With the exception of Joyner, their receivers are really young. They've got some good ones coming along in there.
1:45 remaining. Second down, goal to go, the ball at the 3-yard line. Faust's going to try it again. I'm going to try to get it right. This time it's Winslow, and Winslow takes it away from Benny Barnes in the corner of the end zone.
All of his anger, all of his despair apparent in the way.
One of you guys, maybe both of you, pointed out that you've got a tight end that can play the wide position as well as the wide receivers, and that is such a rarity. And this Kellen Winslow is a terrific tight end.
No, I guess we won't carry it that far. All his anger, all his despair, evident in the way he spiked the football. Maybe his earlier play was the final turning point against San Diego.
Bernishka for the conversion. And the Chargers put their first points on the scoreboard here in the second half. They got 24 in the first half. This is their first points here in the second half. We'll be back in a moment. 1:41 remaining in the game. Would you believe an onside kick?
I'd look for it.
I do. Here it comes. I do not believe that it covered the necessary 10 yards before a Charger can recover it. But it was very close.
It really was very close.
Hank Bauer says it did. He's gesticulating there to referee Dick Jorgensen.
Hank Bauer's a real key man on their special teams, the California Lutheran.
Short yardage, touchdown Bauer.
Short free kick, re-kick, 30-yard line.
30-yard line.
Hank Bauer also tried to carry the ball into the appropriate territory.
He really would have loved it. He actually was with the Cowboys for a while, had a couple of good days. They let him go, and there he is. Not quite enough, Hank.
He let it go as far as he could, and he just had to leap on it. 5-yard assessment, and they'll kick from the 30-yard line. We'll see it again, I'm sure, or some form of it. John Jefferson. Again, no indication that it was a very severe injury. He did try and come back and play, and I think that his coach Coryell just decided, well, we're out of this one. I'm going to keep him out of here.
That smile seemed to indicate he was feeling pretty well.
Well, he came back and played a couple series, but all right, they put it up at the 30-yard line with 1:41 remaining in the game. And we'll see the old shuffle, I'm sure, again. Yep, here they come. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Clinkscale bobbles it, but then he falls on it. Dexter Clinkscale, a rookie out of South Carolina, who has performed very well for the Dallas Cowboys. He's in there on their pass prevent defense, and it's a very subtle transition time for the Cowboys. Interesting, a year ago, Cliff Harris was still playing. They only had 13 interceptions. This year they've already surpassed that. They got 4 tonight.
This is what the standings will look like, Giffer. NFC East, 1 game ahead. Philadelphia. The AFC West, the Oakland Raiders tied with the San Diego Chargers.
That's a tough conference over there, that AFC West.
First and 10 Dallas, 41-yard line of San Diego, and here comes Jones, the rookie from Mississippi State. As we move into the late show, all of you owls out there still with us in the Eastern time zones.
Oh, boy.
Bumped into a guy at the hotel, Don, who said, I'm so-and-so. Will you please tell your friend Meredith that we played on this... Wait a minute, Jimmy Jones is hurt. We played on the same team at SMU back in the 50s. It was 56 or 57 when he fumbled twice against Georgia Tech. I said he was only establishing a pattern of behavior for the future.
Jones comes out, appears to be all right.
I think you called it, Frank. He had those kind of leg cramps earlier. That happens a lot. He
One night here.
Yeah, and he hasn't been running that much either. You know, that's one of those. He's got himself. He's introduced to the big leagues tonight. 12 times, 36 yards.
Second down 9. Jones got one. Springs comes back in. Ron Springs, number 20. And here's Ron Springs. Springs with a tremendous block in front of him there by Herbert Scott. And still, the defense collapsed on him. Don Horn in there defensively for the Chargers.
Saw Rafferty get up a little bit slow, 64. Rafferty's had a good game tonight. You know, he also comes in and he's the center on those very important field goals.
San Diego calls timeout. We'll be there. Yeah, David Whitley, I watched the films of their game last week. He is really one fine athlete. Of course, Bob Greasy, the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, has a very sore shoulder. They don't expect him back for quite a while. And Whitley came in when Strock had a problem a week or so ago and didn't do too well. But I'll tell you, he performed really well last week.
Well, Shula fell in love with Woodley during the training season. When I use that phrase,
he uses him as a runner. He's got a lot of rollouts.
He can scramble. He's mobile. He's agile. There is Tony Dorsett, at peace with himself.
Tony Dorsett, you look at him, he has had 7 straight years, and he has gained over 1,000 yards for somebody.
Yeah. Before Earl Campbell is done, I don't think we'll be able to count the yardage he will have gained.
Was he magnificent tonight?
Unbelievable. He could have gained 300 yards.
Third down 9. Eddie White. This is Jay Saldi, and Saldi has a first down out of the 27-yard line.
He had himself a night.
He sure did.
He and Butch Johnson were a pair.
Saldi said, that way it go, Danny. Just like we did it back when we were running the other team's offense. And they did that for a number of years here.
San Diego, another timeout, and that's it for the timeouts with 58 seconds remaining. .42-31.
One more touchdown, you break the all-time record.
Would you believe more than 16,000 entrants qualifying for the New York City Marathon? The winner, Alberto Salazar. He did it today with a time of 2:09:41, a new record for the event. First marathon victory for the Cuban-born student at Oregon, a member of the 1980 U.S. Olympic team. Bill Rogers, who has won the event the last 4 years, finished 5th. Then, incredibly, Dandy, Greta Waite set a world record for women marathoners, finishing in 2:25:41. Her 3rd straight victory.
Terrific.
And there will be another marathon in White Plains next Sunday, where Don will be on hand.
That's right.
Benefit for the Foundation Children's Learning Disabilities. Danny White falling on the ball right there.
And Astrid Gifford is my odds-on favorite to win that one.
Well, of course, a 13-mile effort on their part.
That's right.
Astrid will give competition to Greta Waits before she's done. But what's remarkable, seriously, is her time is only 16 seconds more than the men's time. They're getting closer and closer together in times for the marathon.
I read an article on sports medicine that they think that women athletes do have the potential in long-distance races to not only be competitive, but to be better than men. Something to do with body chemistry and whatever. But
Physiology.
Physiology, there you go. But that's a good example right there.
Well, here we go. Danny White got a bad night. 9 different receivers, 260 yards, 1 interception, 3 touchdowns, and the Dallas Cowboys stay within 1 of the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC East. And, of course, San Diego falls into a tie with Oakland, or rather, well, they do. They drop back to Oakland in their Western Division of the AFC. Once again, the final score, Dallas 42, San Diego 31. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. That's what Friendly Skies are all about. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. We'll talk to you from Shea Stadium.